Safe to now unlock that radio for entertaining content. Because Sedano and Kap here on. Although Sedano's turned me into like his public enemy number one.
Christopher can go to hell.
We'll get the latest as we lead to the summer of speculation and the summer of loving LeBron for George Sedano. We will get the latest updates. I think he's taking on Charles Barkley today. I'm not completely sure. We'll find out. ... Plus, it's a Ticket Thursday, your chance to win Cappy's dream, which is to see the greatest roast of all on Sunday at the Kia Forum featuring, Tom Brady. Plus, our old friend, Producer Funches, is back, singing for Producer Lindsay today. The usual fun and fair.
No, I did not eat pita here.
Oh, we saw you with the pitas.
No. The what?
Let's get to it. The LA Afternoon Drive Takeover.
You say Kikuchi.
Wacky forced radio stunt of the year.
Oh, nothing worse than the horse. Nah, man, black don't crack.
Benjamin Pratt is like...
Sedano and Kap, your Thursday afternoon right now.
Cappy, you know who's coming by tomorrow?
Who?
One of your boys.
Who dat?
Someone you, let's say, have worked with not too long ago.
Somebody I worked with not too long ago. DeMarco Farr?
Nope.
Beto
You're
Duran?
warm, though. You're warm.
Beto Duran?
Not as warm. Think cash register.
Cash register. D-Money, Cash Money? D-Cash Money?
Andrew Whitworth.
Oh, Big Wit.
Yeah.
Oh, Big Wit. Big Wit. Is he coming in studio tomorrow?
I don't think it's in studio. I think it's just on the phone, if I recall
Oh,
correctly.
Big Wit tomorrow. Now, you know that Big Wit and I, besides being 7-Eleven brothers,
Right.
you know, from the day that we rocked that 7-Eleven, George,
Mm-hmm.
you know that Big Wit and I have another commonality.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Our passion for the Peloton.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that, yes.
Yes. I was doing a Peloton class one morning, and all of a sudden I can see this very, very big dude on a bike in the class. Bald head, big beard. I'm like, is that Big Wit? So I took my phone out, and I took a picture of it while I was doing the Peloton, and then I texted him. Because, you know, George, the day that we were at 7-Eleven, we kind of hit it off, you know what I mean? So, you know, we exchanged numbers and said, hey, let's stay in touch. Maybe we'll get the families together. You know, that kind of a relationship. And I sent him a text, and I go, yo, Big Wit, is this you in my Peloton class, my dog? And he goes, that's me. So I know tomorrow we'll have to be talking a little bit of Peloton. For
Okay.
sure.
All right. I love it. If you like it, Cappy, I love it.
I do. I do indeed.
Yeah.
Now, George, just one thing before we get started today.
Just one.
Yes, one thing.
Yeah.
You may have heard in the open what Laura said to me at the very end of last night's show.
Benjamin Bratt?
She was talking about Benjamin Bratt.
I mean, that was 2 nights ago, actually, I believe. Yeah.
No, then it wasn't that. It was last night about carbohydrates. And I was saying that I did not eat the pita. And then she came back with,
The
we
pitas.
all saw you eat the pitas. And the way she said it
Sounded different.
sounded like she was talking about
Something
me
else.
eating, right, male anatomy.
Something else.
Right. And so today, this morning, when I woke up, I saw somebody on Twitter saying that they had just listened to the Dealer's Choice segment from the previous night's show and they were dying laughing. And I forget what happens on the air. Like, when we're done, I forget.
Right.
I had no recollection whatsoever what had happened last night
Right.
during the Dealer's Choice segment
Correct.
until Chris just put that into the open.
Yeah.
And I think I was probably better off not remembering it, frankly.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I was trying to stay off the carbs, and she was like, no, we all saw you eat the... You know what she said.
The pitas.
Yeah, but that's not the way it sounded.
She said it very fast.
I mean, she did. It sounded like, you know, she told me I was eating
Other
something
things.
else. Right.
Yes.
Like a glizzy.
Yeah. Speaking of food, real quick, because we're going to go to break here in a second, because I do want to, and Christopher's right, I do want to pick a bone with my friend Charles Barkley. Okay?
Okay, rightly so, I believe.
Yeah. I just got so I got a flight coming up.
When?
Yeah, next week. And they just asked me for my meal preference.
Okay, what are our choices?
John and Vinny's braised meatballs, since you were so big on meatballs earlier.
Well, it depends on if they have a nice gravy.
It's got Bianco di Napoli Marina,
Okay, marina.
garlic bread,
Okay.
and some ricotta.
They got any buffalo mozzarella?
No.
Okay.
A little grilled chicken salad or a baked rigatoni.
Nah. I go with the balls.
All right, done.
They got a nice gravy. You take them. You take them meat the balls. Eh?
Yeah. All right. Well, Cappy, let's break because I want to at least get on time, and then I'm going to tell you Charles Barkley basically went at all the media, all the Laker fans, all the Suns fans, all the Suns media who were ripping Frank Vogel and Darvin Ham. And here's what I will say: those two situations are not apples to apples, and I think that Charles is missing some key components here. We'll talk about that. And we'll get into some of the Darvin Ham stuff because there's a report about his future here with the Lakers. We'll touch on that all next here on 710 ESPN.
All right, before we hit this break, I want to say to everybody out there that we here in California, especially Southern California, we are all about choosing chill. Whether we're hitting the beach, we're going on our favorite hike, we're pulling for our favorite teams to win championships. It's what we're all about. And the thing that brings us all together, icy cold Coors Light, and enjoying all that California has to offer when it comes to chilling. And that's listen, when it comes to like having a good time, doing it responsibly, all right, that is it. Coors Light. That's what I always tell you about, man. Pick up that icy cold Coors Light next to you, or you know what? You can even have it delivered to your house today. And the only thing you need to do is go onto this website, CAChooseChill.com. CA, like California, CAChooseChill.com. By the way, choose is a hard word. It's CHOOSE. CAChooseChill.com to learn more. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And when you're drinking that icy cold Coors Light, celebrate responsibly.
4 p.m.
And it is Sedano and Kap your Thursday afternoon. Happy National Truffle Day. And on this day in 1987, a Cappy record. The number one hit was Cutting Crew. Yes, I just died in your arms tonight. Sedano and Kap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
It's a great song.
Very good song. And happy Truffle Day to all that are celebrating.
Oh, do you like truffle?
I do.
I love a good truffle.
I do. I don't get it very often.
Yeah, I like truffle like on, if I go to like a restaurant, they got like truffle fries or something like that. Ooh.
I got this sushi guy that he takes this truffle oil.
Yeah.
And he just drizzles it over the top of the sushi. Oh, delish.
Yeah. Speaking of food, it is the Sedano Kap 4 p.m. hour brought to you by our friends at Waba Grill. Waba Grill wants to help make dinner time a little easier with their new Kids Eat Free program. Get a free chicken or tofu mini bowl with any entree purchase weekdays after 4 p.m. and all weekend long. Restrictions apply. Waba Grill, eat smart, be healthy, and listen to the 6 p.m. hour on Fridays for the Waba Grill Pop Quiz and your chance to win Waba Grill for your entire family.
Yeah.
So, Cappy, I want to get into a couple things because Dr. Clapper is going to join us here in a second.
How are you?
I want to start with Barkley, and then I want to try to get into Walker Buehler, which I think is a really cool story for the Dodgers and Dodger fans. But let's start with Charles. So, obviously, everybody's got an opinion on the Darvin Ham firing and the Frank Vogel firing and all the coaches and whatnot. And I agree. Coaches are put in a tough spot. That is not... You don't get in that line of work for job security. Is that a fair assessment, regardless of sport?
It is. And by the way, I just like the way you said it, which was the Darvin Ham firing and the Frank Vogel firing, because there's been enough, I would say,
smoke,
insider speculation that at this point it seems like it's a foregone conclusion, specifically to Darvin Ham.
Right. Both guys are in the line of fire, right, per se. So Barkley took umbrage with the coverage, I guess particularly on ESPN, and the commentary that was made throughout the day on television or whatever about these two guys in particular. And here's what Charles said.
I just want to say this about coaching. Anybody who thinks the reason the Lakers suck is because of Darvin Ham or the reason the Suns suck is because of Frank Vogel, you don't know what you're talking about. Frank Vogel is a hell of a coach. Darvin Ham is a hell of a coach trying to get his career started. But for all you punks, idiots, and on other networks who want to be media and who want all the players to like y'all, do your damn job. The Lakers suck, and the Suns suck because of the players. Has nothing to do with the coaches. I feel better now.
Here, I can tell. Looks like you like getting that off your chest.
I did. I hate it, man. You sit there like Darvin Ham needs to get fired. Frank Vogel needs to get fired. Who put them teams together? Them trash-ass teams put together need to get fired. Them guys, they didn't just all of a sudden suck as coaches. People who put them teams together they start packing up their stuff.
So here's what I would say, and I heard you laughing.
Trash-ass teams is hilarious.
And here's what I would say to that. The truth is usually somewhere in the middle, Cappy, okay? So with all due respect to my guy Chuck, who I love the guy, okay? But those situations, let's start with this part. They're not apples to apples, okay? The Suns and Lakers situation. They're very different situations. And I actually think, if anything, Frank was given, I think Charles has more merit with Frank. I think Frank was given a roster that doesn't cater to his strengths as a coach, okay? Frank historically has been a great defensive coach. In Indiana, Orlando was a bit of a disaster, but that's not his fault. That team was just a mess back then. And he had a bunch of young guys, okay? But he came to the Lakers, and he had a team that we thought could be good defensively, and they were elite defensively. Is that a fair assessment?
It is a fair assessment, but when you say they're not apples to apples, let me just chime in by saying this, though. If you don't know the details of what you're talking about, and you're just an outsider, not an insider, the apples to apples go like this, George. You have a team in the Lakers that is considered by most to be old because LeBron is your star and he's the oldest guy. And then on the other side, in Phoenix, you have a guy like Kevin Durant, who's also at this point still great, but considered old.
He's old too. Yeah.
And just the first part of what Charles said, though, when you say Frank Vogel's a hell of a coach, I could buy that. He's coached 4 different NBA teams. He's won an NBA championship. He handled LeBron.
He's had a bunch of deep playoff runs.
He to say that Frank Vogel is a hell of a coach, I'll buy that.
Yes.
I'll buy that. To say that Darvin Ham is a hell of a coach, I would say He's an up-and-coming coach who might eventually be a good coach. And what we've seen in 2 years is he was fortunate that his team made it to the Western Conference Finals. Don't want to take anything away from him. He did coach that team. And then this year they got knocked out in the first round by the team that knocked him out last year. To say that Darvin Ham is a hell of a coach, he's got 2 years of head coaching experience. He was a up-and-coming assistant, and he may someday be a really, really excellent head coach. But after 2 years, we don't really know that yet.
Correct. So I would also add, though, that, like I said, Vogel was given a roster early in the year, particularly, that had a bunch of guys on it that were like G League level guys and not like the G League level guys that were ready for the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Besides those guys. And those guys missed a ton of time. Unlike the Lakers situation where LeBron and AD played 70-plus games apiece, all those guys, Durant missed the least of the time, but Booker missed a significant amount of time, and Bradley Beal missed like 30-something games.
Yeah.
So, like,
plus he's impossible, that guy.
Okay, but wait, let me just finish real quick.
All right.
So I think that right on the surface, that's already completely different, those two, okay? And what I would also add is we've gone over this, a laundry list of reasons that Darvin just made some mistakes. And now I kept saying during the season, but this is what happens when you hire a guy who it's his first job. You know what I mean? Like, you got to understand he's a second-year coach. He's going to make mistakes. Nobody wants to hear that while it's happening, and certainly nobody wants to hear it now. But two things can be true at once, Cappy.
I've heard this.
Yes, he is a young coach. He's going to make mistakes. This job, you can ill afford to make mistakes.
Right.
And when you and I are coming on the air pointing out some of those mistakes that are obvious, and we have a large sample size to choose from, and it still took a little while to kind of come, the right way on this. Like, that's not good. And then when, you have stories leaking about players saying that they felt like they were on their own from a schematics standpoint, that's never good either. Nobody was saying that about Vogel. I think the problem that the Suns had was that maybe they didn't like their roles per se, but it wasn't that like, hey, Vogel can't scheme our way out of this thing. That was never a thing. So those two things are different.
I understand.
And by the way, they're different because one guy, as you pointed out, has only been doing this for 2 seasons, right, and the other guy's been doing it for well over a decade.
Yeah, the other guy's had 4 jobs and he's got a championship ring. But look, here's the thing. Charles is right in some of what he said, and he's wrong in what he said.
He's right about the constructions of the team.
Right. When Charles says, look to the front office, I don't think anybody here in L.A. is looking at Rob Pelinka and saying, hey, really, really awesome job this year. That Gabe Vincent signing, boy, we got a lot out of that. Hey, that Cam Reddish signing, boy, that was really impressive. That was really, really good. Nice work out of you. Good job. I mean, seriously, nobody is looking at Rob Pelinka and saying, what a fantastic job you did building this roster. It's just that this coach is no good. What I think people are saying is that the roster wasn't as good. And by the way, it is similar in that way in Phoenix, because in Phoenix, there's 3 guys. It actually requires more than 3. 3 on 5 doesn't work no matter who the 3 are. So, look, he's right in saying that the front offices of the Suns and the Lakers should take heat. I agree with that, okay? But to sit here and say that the coaches are not a contributor as to why the teams weren't good, that is dead wrong. Yeah. And you don't have to be a former NBA player or a Hall of Famer to know that. And by the way, where he's also right is, the players didn't perform. If the players performed, then let's use the Lakers just as an example. If the players all performed, George, they wouldn't have been a 7 or an 8. You know what I'm saying?
No, agreed with that. And I would say it's not even just a front office thing. I would just say it's a complete organizational failure too. Like, I wouldn't say it's just the front office, because people have to sign off on what the front office wants to do. You know what I'm saying?
And in Phoenix,
in every instance.
And in Phoenix, they got a new owner who's a young guy, who's a rich guy, who was using the Phoenix Suns as a toy, because everybody who's rich wants to be the next Mark Cuban. Okay, and you get caught up in a shiny object. Ooh, Kevin Durant, he's awesome. Let's get him. Oh, Bradley Beal, let's get him. And yeah, these guys have history that says they're really good basketball players. In Durant's case, he's an excellent all-time great basketball player. But guess what? Building a team, George, is not just about putting talent on a floor or in a locker room. Building a team is understanding personalities and chemistry and locker room and camaraderie. It's so much more than just stats on paper. And so, look, Charles, love you, babe, okay? But in this particular instance, Darvin Ham did not have a great year.
No.
Did not, and may be a good coach someday.
Uh-oh.
But I don't
Deke,
think,
you got a DeAndre side.
Okay, wait a second. Hold on a second. Big D knows ball, or at least he tells us he knows ball.
Right, we understand that, he had his troubles with drawing up X's and O's and all the timeouts and hands in his pockets. But I am a true believer that your players have to perform.
Oh, no question.
Was it Rui's fault? Was it his fault when Rui was playing bad in the series? Was it his fault when D'Lo, laid up a goose egg?
No, agreed. But I would say that I'm not disputing
that
part of it.
You got it, Big D.
I'm not disputing that part of it. But I think by then the die was already casted on him. You know what I'm saying? That
of course.
They felt like back in February that they had kind of thrown their hands up in the air and like, nah, forget it. It's over.
You're right. I mean, Barkley's point, and Barkley can get away with saying any of this stuff because of the career that he had. When you say that the players sucked, and that's why the team sucked, yes, that is part of it. You know what else is a part of it? Poor coaching. And you want to know what else is a part of it? Poor roster construction.
And organizational from top to bottom.
I mean,
Right,
Lakers had no identity. You couldn't, there's no.
But that's a coaching thing and a GM thing. That's a combination of those two. You know what I mean? Like that's the identity supposed to be crafted by them.
Yeah, but when you say no identity, I mean, to me, I think of the Lakers' identity is LeBron. What do you think the Lakers' identity was this past year that they didn't have one?
This past year when they had Shooter and all them, they were known for a tough-nosed defense and playing hard by both ends of the floor. This year they had none of that.
Yeah, they were terrible defensively, and but they should have played to their size. That was supposed to be their identity, but their coach chose not to utilize that size until it was way too late.
Hey, that coach, he's a hell of a coach, man.
You know who deserves some props today and who is a hell of a player? Considering what he's been through, Walker Buehler, man. 2 years, and he's going to make a start, I believe, on Monday.
That's what they say.
Yeah. So I'm excited about Walker Buehler. I want to get into that with Dr. Clapper about Buehler's kind of recovery, the injury, all that stuff. We're going to have Dr. Clapper on in his usual spot.
How are you?
Yeah. We'll get more into Darvin as Jovan Buha reported that he believes Darvin could be done by the end of the week. We'll talk about kind of some of the potential replacements if that indeed is the case. We'll get into all that stuff here in the 5 o'clock hour. It is the Wabba Grill 4 o'clock hour here on Sedano and Kap. Again, Kids Eat Free program. Get a free chicken or tofu mini bowl with an entree purchase weekdays after 4 p.m. all weekend long. Restrictions apply. So we'll get into Dr. Clapper, get into some of the injury stuff. We're going to talk to him about Walker, right? Mike Trout. Who else, Cappy?
Also, I want to talk to him about the coach. Coach Finch in Minnesota got run over by his own guy.
Yeah, I know. Terrible. Poor
Dude.
guy. Patella got torn. So, Dr. Clapper, how are you? He's going to join us in a second. But first, Cappy, tell him about your friend and our friend, Avner Gad. Hello.
Yeah, Avner Gad, let me tell you something. It's gotten to the point now where Avner and I talk every day. I mean, that's pretty much the deal. We talk on WhatsApp. That's where we talk. So listen, here's the thing about Avner Gat's company. First of all, Avner Gat is a public insurance adjuster who's on your side, okay? And I will tell you this, you can try and negotiate with the insurance company yourself. So in other words, if you have a big flood at your house, okay, and you are going to work with your homeowner's insurance company, and they say we're going to give you $10,000 to fix this, but you know this is a $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 job, that's when you call Avner Gat, and he comes in and he takes care of business. Now, the thing is that when you hire Avner Gat, you're hiring Avner Gat's team. His team is a group of people that used to work for the insurance companies. They used to work for the restoration business where they were building homes after disasters. They were people that handled the contents of moving people's homes for restoration and storage. These were people that were at some point in their career hazardous material experts, asbestos and lead and things like that. Some of them even worked in law firms where they were handling bad faith claims and general business disputes. So here's my point. When you hire Avner, you're not just hiring a guy. You're hiring an entire team. That's how you win. That's how Avner wins for you when he's dealing with the insurance companies, because he's going to make sure that you win, not the insurance companies. And ultimately, when you're talking about a team, nobody, and I mean nobody, you talk about identity of a team, nobody messes with Avner Gat and his team. So here's what you do. You call him at 818-917-5256, 818-917-5256, or you go to his website, avnergat.com. That's AVNERG, AvnerGat, G-A-T, avnergat.com. Call him, 818-917-5256. Him and his team take care of business, and when you call, Avner answers the phone himself. Hello.
Last Saturday at BMO Stadium. Last Saturday at BMO Stadium, it was another thriller for the black and gold.
Still loose in the area. Bouanga, the shot back post. Did he score?
Another Bouanga banger for the victory.
Oh, what a finish for Bouanga!
Next up, the black and gold travel up north to Levi Stadium for a clash with the Quakes. Coverage of LAFC versus San Jose starts Saturday at 4 p.m. on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
To the sister of Gianni Versace, the great Donatella Versace. And on this day, back in 1968, Jimi Hendrix recorded Voodoo Child. Sedano and Kap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
Hollywood Hogan, man. NWO.
It's so funny you say that because when people hear this song, especially people that were born well after 1968, they don't think Jimi Hendrix.
They think of Hulk Hogan.
They think the NWO.
Hollywood Hogan. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Yeah, that's what they think.
Yeah. Shout out. Mean Gene no longer with us, I believe, right?
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, may he rest in peace.
Mean Gene, he's gone?
Yeah, a couple
That's
years
a shame.
ago. I want to say
That's too
around
bad.
COVID time, maybe like right before.
R.I.P. Mean Gene.
Yeah, one of the goats. Speaking of goats, Dr. Clapper joins us for his weekly appearance.
Doctor,
how are you?
Doctor, how are you?
How are you? Looking forward to it.
Hey, Doc, let me tell you something real quick. Before we
Yes.
talk any injuries, you and me are very much on the same page. When you look at the Lakers losing this series, especially Game 5, hey, bro, hit your free throws, okay? You're an NBA basketball player in a huge situation. Hit your freaking free throws. That goes for LeBron, too.
Yes. No, they're free for a reason. How can you possibly lose by just a few points and miss out on any of them, right? Come on.
I mean, come on.
Come on.
I'm with you. I'm with you. They're free for a reason.
Yeah.
Dr. Clapper, Cappy and I were just mentioning before you came on, what a cool deal for the Dodgers with Walker Buehler coming back. And it's his second Tommy John surgery. And I know we briefly touched on this last week a little bit with you, but not about Walker. we were talking about just kind of the Tommy John surgery and kind of strengthening a guy's arm. He hasn't pitched in 2 years. Like, what can we expect from someone like Walker Buehler coming off a second Tommy John injury?
You know, the power, George, that is generated by the fastball does not come from a strong arm. It doesn't come from your elbow, and it doesn't come from your shoulder. The power that gets you to 100 miles an hour, believe it or not, comes from your back. This was a very elegant study that Dr. Frank Jobe, who did the Tommy John, who invented the Tommy John surgery, showed us. So that's really where it comes from. So Walker Buehler is strong. He will have no problem getting that ball to move at 100 miles an hour again. The difficulty is, what does the elbow and what does the rotator cuff in your shoulder do? It actually decelerates the arm and gives the control for those pitches to move around. And that fine-tuning takes time. What can you expect? He'll get up there and he'll throw strikes. But where will he put the ball correctly? That's going to be a whole different story.
Yeah. Hey, Doc, speaking of baseball guys, you know, it's amazing how we really don't pay attention to Mike Trout when he's healthy. And then all of a sudden when he gets hurt, we all start talking about him like, oh, here he goes again. Torn meniscus in the knee. What do you do? How long does it take?
So the key is, just like in the world of real estate, location, location, location. In our knees, we have two meniscus. We have one on the big toe side, the medial meniscus, and we have one on the little toe side, the lateral meniscus. What we're seeing in Joel Embiid as it relates to Michael Trout is a story of two different meniscus tears. Because when you're dealing with the lateral meniscus, the more rare meniscus tear on the little toe side of the joint, that is the key part of the knee joint for rotation. The Clapper vision is that lateral side of your knee. You know, when you make those delicious salsas and spices, you use a mortar and a pestle where you crack all those peppers and whatnot, and you make the greatest kind of salsa from those cracked peppers. That mortar and the pestle, the way the movement rotation is exactly what the lateral side of the knee does. And Joel Embiid is suffering because he has a lateral meniscus tear that was fixed. But that's why when you watch him try to rotate on that left knee, you see the pain in his face. Let's hope, in the case of Mike Trout, that we're just dealing with a medial meniscus tear, because that is a lot easier to come back from. That's the hinge side of the knee joint.
What about age factoring into Trout, Dr. Clapper?
It's a huge component, because you are like that. Here's a Clapper vision. You buy that brand new bungee cord, George, and it's in the package. It's brand new. Look how flexible it is. It snaps back. But as we get older, that flexibility in the bungee cord changes. It doesn't have that elasticity. And so in veteran players, when they have the same injury as a rookie, you got to make sure they're back at 100%, because a rookie can come back, he's almost completely healed. You can get away with a lot. But if they come back too soon, they're not 100% in a veteran, then look out. Now their hamstring's going to tear. Now they're going to strain an oblique. The compensatory other muscles that help are needed in the veteran, not as much as in the rookie.
Hey, Doc, did you happen to see the Minnesota-Phoenix game on Sunday night when the Timberwolves head coach, Chris Finch, got run over by his own guy, went down in like immediate agonizing pain? And I'm thinking to myself, how bad did that hurt? I mean, you can't even sit on the bench. They literally had to take him off the court with like 3 minutes to go, and I guess he's going to miss the first game of the next round because of some kind of a surgery that he's going to have to have. Did you see what happened to him in that play?
Yes. So if you're all driving and listening to the show, go ahead, don't get into an accident. But if you feel your knee, and all of you in the studio can do this with your knee sitting down, I want you to feel your kneecap. Mm-hmm. Pretend the kneecap is a clock. Feel 12 o'clock, feel 3 o'clock, feel 9 o'clock, feel 6 o'clock. As you feel at 6 o'clock, push in with your finger. That is the attachment of the patella tendon to the kneecap. And when you fire your quadriceps muscle, you're able to extend your knee. Here's the Clapper vision. A leather belt. You have leather, that's the belt. but the buckle is made of metal. How the hell do you get two different materials to join together to be a belt? Well, you wrap the leather around the metal buckle, and then you put holes and put stitches through it. And that's how the leather belt attaches to the metal buckle. Well, two different materials. The tendon is different than bone. What Chris Finch, the coach, had was forcibly rip the patella tendon from the bone. He ripped the leather and separated it from the belt buckle. What surgery? We drill holes, just like into the leather belt. We drill holes into the bone and weave special kinds of stitches that you have to learn as a surgeon how to lock the tendon into the bone. But here's the key. You cannot let that patient flex the knee until it heals, because if you do, you'll be tugging on the repair. So he's going to be on the bench, but look for him to be there without bending his knee.
Dr. Clapper joins us every Thursday at about 4:45, 4:50 to give us the lowdown. Dr. Clapper, before we let you go, I know you got to be disappointed in this Lakers season. And you know, we'll keep you posted on everything that's going on. You know, we got you all covered here on this station.
You know, it's like surfing is not a sport for me. It's my religion. But Laker basketball in the city of Los Angeles, and we are the proud holder of that franchise on this station. It's more than a basketball team. They are our church. And when something happens to the Lakers, we all feel it.
I definitely thought you were going all Spicoli on me there. Surfing's not a sport. It's a way of life. It's a way of looking at that wave and saying, hey, bud, let's party.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Dr. Clapper, you're the best, buddy. Thank you for the time as always.
Oh, God bless you guys. Thank you.
Much love, Doctor. You got to call him Doctor. You know what I mean? Dr. Clapper.
Yeah. By the way, Cappy, it's a Ticket Thursday here on 710 ESPN. Keep listening all day for your cue to call. When you hear it, be caller 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you can win two of the hottest tickets in town. Sunday night at the Kia Forum, Netflix is a Joke presents the greatest roast of all time, Tom Brady. Your chance to win on a Ticket Thursday here on 710 ESPN. So coming up next, all right, let's dive back into, Cappy, the situation with Darvin Ham, because there are some candidates there potentially that have been floated, let's say. All right? So we'll get to that. Stick around. But first, let me tell parents out there. Listen, taking your kids to the dentist. I know it's a pain in the rear sometimes. The kids don't want to go. But I got the answer for you. Children's Dental Fun Zone. Fun is in the name for a reason, okay? Forget about all those challenges you had previously with the kids and taking them to the dentist. This is someone you can trust, and the kids will enjoy going to the dentist. Let me tell you more about my friends at Children's Dental Fun Zone. 17 locations across the Southland. So whether you're in L.A. County, regardless of whether you're at the different valleys, etc., they got you covered. OC, they got you covered. IE, they got you covered. 17 locations for Children's Dental Fun Zone, where they specialize in children's dentistry and orthodontics with state-of-the-art equipment and personal attention your kids deserve. So here's the deal with Children's Dental Fun Zone. This is how they make it fun. Hence, fun is in the name. For your kids when they're doing their work or getting their work done, they got movies for the kids, all the Pixar, Disney movies, all that stuff. So they're entertained while getting their dentistry done. iPads for the kids, toys and toy stations for the kids. I was just at the Covina office not too long ago, and they've got a huge aquarium with fish. Kids loves fish, right? So look, they got a lot of stuff there for your kids to love, and they'll enjoy going to the dentist, and it'll make your life easy. And speaking of your life, parents, they accept Medi-Cal, PPO, and HMO insurance plans. So to book your child's next appointment at Children's Dental Fun Zone, go to their website, cdfzone.com. That's cdfzone.com for Children's Dental Fun Zone. Or call them at 800-717-KIDS. That's 800-717-KIDS. We're back in 2 minutes. Hey parents, another fun fact for you here from Children's Dental Fun Zone. They are open 7 days a week, so your child can be seen any day of the week, and they take emergencies, which is obviously something you need to be aware of because you never know when those emergencies will come about. What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. Less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Take it away with you, Funch.
Funch.
The LA County
Funchy
Fair.
Lava in the house.
The LA County Fair is back tomorrow, guys.
Oh, yeah,
at the
Pomona,
Fairplex.
dog.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We'll be
Shout
running
out to
from
Pomona.
We'll be running from tomorrow to the end of the month to the 27th.
Yeah.
Some of the good concerts.
Sometimes, though, traffic from over here to get over there can be so bad. I may just fly from, like, LAX, my home away from home, to Ontario, and then just take, like, an Uber to the fair. It might be easier that way.
Is the fair always this time of year, the LA Fair?
Yeah, around May.
Yeah.
It is? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the LA County Fair in so damn long.
Yeah. Cappy, you want to go? You want to do an expedition to the LA County Fair in Pomona?
I don't love the fairs. I'm not opposed to the fairs.
Really?
but
You don't like the food at the fair?
No. I don't eat the food at the fairs. I don't eat any of those.
Why?
fried-
You eating that crazy stuff, man?
No, dog. Any of those fried Twinkies. I don't
Dude,
do
that stuff is delicious.
I don't walk around a fair with a big old turkey leg. Okay,
That's good.
And I also don't like to ride the rides. Even though I do it, I'm nervous about the people who work the rides. Okay.
You don't go there for the rides, man. You go there for the food.
Yeah,
No,
food for
dog.
sure.
Nah, man.
Concerts, a concert
I go there to
too.
win goldfish, man.
All right. Some of the newest food they got at the fair this year is something called a pickle split, which is basically a banana split, but instead of a banana, it's a pickle.
Nah, I'm out.
Yeah, no thank
See,
you.
I just told you guys, no good.
No, I'm good on the other stuff, though.
Like what? What do you like? You like a bacon?
Oh, a
fried
good elephant
Snicker?
ear? You know what I mean?
An
Like,
elephant
Oh yeah,
ear.
those are good. Those
What's
are
an
good.
elephant ear? What's an elephant ear?
It's just like fried dough, but it looks like an elephant ear. It's just
That's
big
cinnamon
and
on it,
flat.
right?
Oh,
too, right?
I thought that was
Yeah.
called a. What do you call those things? Not an elephant ear. I thought there was another name for those things.
Yeah, it's
funnel cakes.
It's basically funnel cake, but it's like they beat it like where it's like long and big and it looks like an elephant ear.
They beat
But
it,
it's
huh?
made out of the dough of a funnel cake. Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
speaking of funnel cake, one of the newest things that they have too is called a hot honey funnel cake chicken sandwich.
Okay, now that I may try.
Hot
That
honey
I may try.
funnel cake chicken sandwich.
So a
Yeah,
chicken
I'm looking
patty
at the
between
website
two
right now.
pieces of funnel
New food
cake.
items. Hold
Yeah.
on. Let me see. What else you got here, Funch? Oh, it says it is on their website. It says coming soon. So keep going, Funchy.
Yeah, it's a chicken patty basically between two funnel cakes
Yeah.
and drizzled in hot honey.
Okay.
Yeah, that actually sounds good for like 2 bites. Like I could take a couple of bites.
Well, we like split it.
Yeah.
Come on, Cappy. Let's go to Pomona.
We're like a married
Why
couple.
don't you guys
Let's
do a show
split it.
from there? How about that?
Hey,
I mean
tell you what,
that takes a lot of like
listen,
work, I would imagine.
But I'll tell you this right now. I'll throw you one better. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Let's do a show from the LA County Fair. Let's do a show from the Orange County Fair. Let's do a show from the San Diego County Fair. Let's do a fair tour this summer.
Oh, you're going on
When
a
is
tour.
the San Diego one?
San Diego County Fair is probably like early June to the 4th of July.
Yeah. And
Is
when
that-
is the OC one?
The OC one, I think, is after that. I think it goes from Pomona.
Oh, no, it says here also in May, I believe.
Oh, really?
San Diego County Fair from June 12th to July 7th.
There you go.
Oh, no, here we go. OC is July 19th through August 18th.
Right, so it goes L.A., then it goes San Diego, then it goes Orange County.
Yeah.
Right.
So you want to go fair hopping?
Yeah, fair hopping sounds kind of interesting to me. We'll find out. Like, let's pick out like one horrible ride. Because the rides, you look at them and you're like, I will throw up on that ride.
Nah, I wouldn't advise you go on those rides.
Well,
man.
what's that one ride that they have where you stand up against the wall and it spins you
The
around?
Gravitron?
The Gravitron.
Okay, Gravitron.
Oh, my
horrible.
Dude, when I was a kid, I went on the Gravitron one time, and there was a kid who like threw up, and the throw up came back at him. Oh, because the thing obviously it's spinning so fast that you're up against the wall, and it was gross.
Last year, I went to the fair, okay?
Yeah.
Rachel wanted to go. So I went to the fair, and they have that, like, swing ride where it just goes around in circles. That's it. Just goes around. It lifts you up real high, and it goes
you
around
mean like
circles.
the actual, like it's a swing, like you're sitting in like a swing
Yeah,
set, like it
right.
has a little cage thing
Right.
you like lock down, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and there's like 50 people on it at one time.
Yeah.
And I would look down at my feet, and I'm like, oh, my God, I'll ride any roller coaster anywhere, anytime, but this ride is making me sick. The goal of the rides at the fairs is to make you as dizzy as possible. And some people love the dizzying rides. I, on the other hand, I just get sick, man. I can't do it. I mean, I'll take a ping pong ball and try and find it in a little cup and win me a goldfish. You know, Rachel had a goldfish that lasted 15 years.
Wow.
From one of those fairs.
Wow, look at that.
15-year goldfish, man.
That's impressive.
Yo, Cap, you think you can win a prize on the basketball hoop?
Now, those basketball hoops are hard, right?
Oh, yeah, those things are hard as hell, those rims.
Because they mess with you, because the actual top of the basket is not really like circular, right? Isn't it like
no, and they
shape?
put double rims on it to make it really hard.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And they put it up at like 13, 14 feet, and you have to shoot it like you're shooting from mid-court.
Yeah,
you know?
swish it.
But the
Swish
double
it.
rim is hard because it you have to swish it. If not, it's going to pop out.
Exactly.
I'll give you one other small issue I got with the fair, which is this. Let's say you win something really cool, right?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you're walking around with a life-size teddy bear.
Yeah.
You got a teddy bear that's 6 foot 220.
But that's why you do the games on the way out.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, you ever go visit like the livestock area?
Yeah, the kids like that stuff.
You can feed them.
I don't want to come off sounding like a fair Grinch. Okay, it's just that I go.
I mean, you are. I'm a little surprised by this.
I go. Last year I saw Kevin Hart. I saw Kevin Hart at the fairgrounds in Del Mar in an outdoor comedy show, and I couldn't believe how he crushed it. Because the venue isn't really like conducive, you know what I mean, for a comedy show.
Right.
But the concerts are good. The comedy shows are good. I like all that. I like the crowds. I like people watching. You know, but the food, I can't do it, man.
I love the food. That's the reason to go. I'm feeling good right now. I heard that, in the Mason Ireland show, they were like checking in on their weight situation.
Mm-hmm.
They're all kind of heavy, dog. I got to be honest with you. I mean, like, John looks good, and he's like, he's like nearly 6 feet tall. He's like 183, you know what I mean? He's like 5'10", 5'11", he said. Everyone else is like near, like in the 190s to 200s.
Yeah, but I got to give Mace credit. Mace
near that range.
No, but Mace seems very committed to this new
No,
body
I will give Mason
transformation.
credit for that. Yeah, for sure.
He does seem
But
committed
like,
to this.
it's like, yo, dog, y'all gotta get tight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
really?
you got D-Cash Money over here looking good. I mean, Funchy's always looking lean and mean over there.
That's right.
I checked in today, Cappy. You want to guess how much?
188.
Oh, hell no. That's way heavy.
How much?
175, dog.
That's right.
Come on.
Hey, nice.
Good.
How
Come
much
on
do you think
now.
I weigh? I weighed in this morning, too. I had a doctor's appointment. How much do you think I weigh?
193.
You know what? Hey, you're a good man. You're a good man, Joe. I don't care what D-Cash Money says about you off air. You're a good man. Okay? 193, you're a good man.
What are you, Cappy?
I was
206?
I was 205 today.
Oh, damn.
And, dude, I went to the doctor's office, and she goes, get up on the scale. I'm like, hold on a second here, girl. Hold on.
You start
a second.
taking clothes off?
I took my shoes off. I took my
my
hoodie
pockets.
off. Bro, I took
You're
my
one of
wallet
those
out
guys.
of my pocket.
That,
Yeah.
Hold on, I got to take my wallet out.
My cell phone.
My keys.
Right. Oh, dude. And then when she weighed me in, I go, hold on a second. I got off the scale. I took my pants off. I'm standing there in my chones. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Cappy.
So bad.
Oh, Cappy.
So bad.
Yeah, come on, Cappy. I'm telling you, if you buy that Lumen, I don't even use it anymore. Like, I just know the method to the madness now. So I might cancel the actual subscription that comes with it because I know what the process is, like from a carb perspective, like the balance of carbs, fat, protein that I need to have to make myself lose weight.
I think the reason that I'm the weight that I'm at is because, and Big D, you'll find this interesting. I think it's the powerlifting that I'm doing. I think it's like the
Wait, what are you talking about?
It's like
because if you're actually lifting weight, that will help you lose fat.
Well, I think the muscle weighs more. You know, like when you bench
It
press
does,
350
but
like 12 times.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it doesn't weigh that much
when
more.
When you
the
squat
biggest thing is your
600,
diet, man. I'm telling you, that's the biggest thing is your
Yeah,
diet.
you're getting that
my
road
diet
pie, dog.
sucks. Well, no. Last night, me and Morales, no road pie.
Road shawarma?
No, we didn't even eat on the way home.
Wow.
We did not eat.
Oh.
And I am trying to clean up my carbs. I'm telling you, man, I got to get the beach body ready to go.
The funniest thing is when I was out there Lakers game, I saw Cap in the fridge, and over here in the studio, and he was eating carrots and shredded chicken.
Good for you, Cappy.
I had carrots with hummus.
Yeah, I mean, carrots and hummus are a good snack, you know?
I do like them. Hey, I'll tell you something else, George. I'm excited about what's going on right now. For those of you that are watching on the YouTube feed, you know that I've got on my Tito's scarf right now.
Oh, that's right, because it's the Cappy Hour, yeah.
It is the Tito's Cappy Hour. Simple, smooth. Every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. And you know, the way Tito made Tito's vodka back in the day, Tito distilled it, he hand bottled it, he taste tested it, he sent it to his boys, and then he tested it again to give you the finest vodka. Tito'sVodka.com. Check them out for recipes and videos and more on Tito'sVodka.com. And it is crafted, George, to be savored responsibly.
Excellent, Cappy. Now, coming up here in just a second, we didn't get to do it here, but we'll definitely get into it on the other side. I am also curious to hear from people on Twitter about this. So Jovan Buha of The Athletic has a report out there that Darvin Ham could be done by the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave McMenamin went on the Dan Patrick show today with DP.
McMenamin.
And he believes that Tyronn Lue, if he gets let go, and J.J. Redick are real Laker candidates for their head coaching position.
Anybody going to give me credit? Anybody going to give me credit?
On what, J.J. Redick?
Because as soon as LeBron and J.J. Redick started going hardcore X's and O's basketball.
Right, but you know, J.J. was a candidate for the Toronto Raptors job last year.
I understand, but
Yeah.
all I'm saying is that once that podcast started and these two guys started talking hardcore basketball and LeBron does all that he does about other coaches where he's always propping everybody else, I was like, oh, there's the Lakers' next head coach. It's J.J. Redick.
So, look, it's possible. I actually have a few more names I'd like to throw out there. So we'll get into that on the other side. But first, Cappy, May 12th is coming around the corner. You know what May 12th is?
Is that Book's Day?
It's Mother's Day, right? So it is Books Day. But you need to get on Books faster than that. Go to BOUQS.com. Books, short for bouquets. You need to get Mom some flowers. It's time to give Mom her flowers, all right? Because your mom, she wiped your booty when you were little, right? She definitely did that, okay? You know, and you need to repay her for that forever, basically, at this point. And then, you know, Mom took you to school, right? She cooked for you. She cleaned for you. She did your laundry for you. And I bet you your wifey's doing the same thing right now. And I'm sure as hell, especially if you come from like a Hispanic family, I know Abuelita did all that stuff for you too. All right? So you need to take care of Mom, your wifey, Abuelita, your auntie, your sister, right? Your cousins, all the moms in your life, they need the love, okay? So take care of them. And Books, short for bouquets, we're going to hook you up, 25% off. You go to Books.com, promo code ESPN, BOUQS.com. Books is different. Flowers cut fresh, sourced directly from the best flower farms in the world, including even on the side of a freaking volcano. They last forever. Trust me when I tell you, during Valentine's Day, I got some for my wife. They lasted several weeks, okay? Crazy, okay, how Books lasts. So it's very simple. Pick a date. Go to Books.com, BOUQS.com. Enter the promo code ESPN to get 25% off. Pick a date, a delivery time, and you're good to go, and you're not going to be in the doghouse for all the moms in your life. So 25% off. You send some to Mom, your wife, your auntie, your grandma, your cousin, your sister, etc. Go to Books.com, BOUQS.com. Promo code ESPN for 25% off. A quarter of the price off, man. That's BOUQS.com. Promo code ESPN. Books, promo code ESPN. All right, parents, here's some fun facts for you here from Children's Dental Fun Zone. First tooth, first visit. Once those teeth pop out, you gotta bring them to Children's Dental Fun Zone. And as far as ortho is concerned, you gotta get those kids here by the age of 8.
Last Saturday at BMO Stadium, it was another thriller for the black and gold.
Still loose in the area. Bouanga the shot back post. And he scores!
another Bowanga banger for the victory. Next up, the black and gold travel up north to Levi Stadium for a clash with the Quakes. Coverage of LAFC versus San Jose starts Saturday at 4 p.m. on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Listen to Sedano and Kap more at 4 p.m.
And it is Sedano and Kap, your Thursday afternoon. Oh, this is a good one. On this day, back in 1987, The System, that's the name of the artist, hit number 1 on the Billboard R&B chart with this jam. Don't Disturb This Groove. Sedano and Kap. What do you know about this, Kap? Sedano and Kap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
You ain't know nothing about no groove. Tell me about no grooving. Moving, hey, grooving, hey,
Sorry, Corporate Greg was in here.
What does he want?
Being corporate-y.
What was he being corporate about?
I mean, you know him.
Like what?
He's just like, he's like, this Kaplan, I know this negotiation is coming up. What do you think?
Well, I mean, did you tell him about the Tito's Cappy Hour? And that maybe we should all sit down. We'll get all of our favorites together. We'll get Tito's vodka together with maybe an icy cold Coors Light, maybe a little tequila Madal. We'll put them all together.
Right.
One
big happy family.
That's right. Hey, this Tito's Cappy Hour is making me really happy.
I said, look, if Kaplan's not here, I'm walking.
Oh, you did? You told him the truth.
Just like that.
You finally told him.
Yeah, I'm walking.
You're out of here.
Yep.
You're a good teammate, George.
I'm walking.
You are a good teammate.
Yeah. So
I appreciate
I'm
that.
not putting my name in the transfer portal.
Oh, you're not?
The host transfer portal, no.
You're not doing that?
No.
You're not looking for more NIL money from somebody else?
No. I mean, I'm always looking for more NIL money, but not,
All right, well, I mean, listen, be prepared. We may be going into the transfer portal.
Okay.
You feel me?
All right. Well,
all right.
I mean, I'm here for you.
Thank you, bro.
Hey, real quick, speaking of which, time to make your vote count for the biggest night of the year, 710 ESPN's Mandy Awards. Go to ESPNLA.com. Click on the Mandy's 3 voting page logo, presented by the law offices of Joseph S. Normand, injury attorneys you can trust, 213-747-2000. Vote now at ESPNLA.com.
All right. You said before the break that you had more you wanted to talk about with regards to this Darvin Hamon situation. Do I have that right?
I do. So Dave McMenamin was on the Dan Patrick Show. So backtrack real quick. Jovan Buha is reporting that he believes Darvin Ham will be out potentially by the end of the week. Okay?
Yeah, and by the way, just real quick, George, had the Lakers lost on Saturday last week when they got the series to 3-1, had they lost and they had they been swept, there were plenty of rumors that Darvin was going to be fired like immediately the next day. But by winning the game, and then, oh, by the way, in Game 5, with it coming down the stretch again, and another Jamal Murray last-second shot, I think that had everybody inside the Laker organization just pumping the brakes. Like, we think we probably are going to go in a new direction, but let's just hold on and see how it all shakes out. What do you think about that?
I think that there's just not a ready-to-go person available to replace him. So I think that they also right. So I think they have to just kind of take their time. They're going to take their time a little bit. And And while I think that they're going to take their time in some capacity, I think they're going to give him, relieve him of his duties early, so then he could potentially look for work if he wants to, or he can just kind of chill for a little bit, right? Like we saw Frank Vogel do for a year. I
don't think he's chilling, though, man. I think that guy, as soon as he gets fired, I think he's going to be looking for the next job as soon as he can find it, whether it's as an assistant or if somebody will give him another shot right away to be a head coach.
I actually think, you know where I think Darvin would be good? If they got a lead assistant, like a good lead assistant for him.
Who that?
Charlotte. Like a young team that needs like a guy who understands what it's like to be a pro in the NBA. I think that would be like a great job for him.
He just reminds me, and I've thought about this quite a bit in the last couple of days. You know, the Lakers have this tendency to hire guys that want the job. They don't cost that much money.
They have gone a little frugal on that stuff. Yeah, I mean, Ty Lue, the whole thing was he wanted more years.
Right.
And they wouldn't give it to him.
And he was an established championship coach by that time, And also, wanting guys that are what you would call controllable personalities, guys that aren't walking into the front office, expressing strong opinions because they're just happy to have the job. He reminded me of when the Chargers hired Anthony Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Lynn was a good player.
Or even the next guy, Staley.
Yes, but the comparison I'm making is that they wanted a guy who's a former player.
Right.
They wanted a guy that the players would look at and go, hey, you get us. You understand our life. You understand what we're going through. And then ultimately they found out, he's a good assistant coach. He works well on somebody's staff. But as a head coach, as a game manager, as somebody who has to make the decisions, as somebody who has to, take in input and then, again, make split-second decisions, that wasn't his strength. And Darvin Ham is 2 years into being a head coach, and if he gets another shot, presumably he will, you're 5 years in, 10 years in, maybe you're a much better coach. I mean, was Greg Popovich awesome in his second year? Was Eric Spoelstra awesome in his second year? Was Phil Jackson awesome in his second year? By the way, these are all rhetorical because I don't know the answer. So my point is that he might be good sometime.
Right.
But his first experience was
not great.
And yet he made it to the Western Conference Finals, and yet he probably doesn't really get very much credit for that, frankly.
Correct. No, I agree. So here's what I would say. The options that Dave McMenamin put out there are Ty Lue if he gets let go. He said this on the Dan Patrick Show. And J.J. Redick. So you mentioned the J.J. Redick stuff. We kind of touched on that briefly. Look, people are going to say I'm just in the bag for J.J. because I'm like friendly with him and I've worked with him for a while. I think J.J.'s brilliant. Like I'm not surprised that he is quickly ascended to where he's ascended to.
As a broadcaster?
Correct.
Okay.
Because he is a thinking man's personality. Mm-hmm. The reason basketball people love JJ, and I mean like hardcore, diehard basketball fans, people that know ball, Cappy, like DeAndre.
That's
like
right.
me.
That's right.
And well, you're a savant too, I guess.
Yeah, right. That's what LeBron says.
Yeah. So they love him because he doesn't want to do the. Like, JJ literally goes on First Take and says, why are we doing this stupid conversation of who's the GOAT? Like, why don't we just talk about, what's actually happened last night? You know what I'm saying?
And that's going to translate into being a great coach?
Well, can you let me finish?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's what you're saying.
Well, I'm talking about first his media career.
Oh.
Okay? But I think he garnered he was always respected for the most part by the guys he played with in his 15 years because he had to work really hard. Mm-hmm. He was a great college player, but in the NBA, he didn't even play his first couple years. Stan Van Gundy would not even play him until he felt he was ready. Mm-hmm. So he had to work his ass off just to become a rotation player and then eventually became a starter in this league, et cetera, and became one of the best three-point shooters. So guys respect his grind and also respect his acumen, right? Mm-hmm. They respect him for what he's able to do, like the way he had to think the game in a way that other guys, because of their athleticism, where he lacked, he had to kind of overcome some of the lack of athleticism with his brain, right? So so there's that. And by the way, I'm not comparing the two necessarily directly, but John and I talked about this during Crosstalk. I said Pat Riley barely was an assistant. We joked, right? Chicky Baby was giving him the fist, for a couple years on the broadcast. He was an assistant for like a year.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, Jerry West was in that front office to help. And
okay, wait, but let me finish the comparison real quick, and then you can get into this because I do think that's a valid point. But here's what I will tell you: Pat Riley also an incredible college basketball player, and Pat Riley in the NBA was a role player who had to fight and scratch and claw for every inch he got in the NBA as a role player. Like, so what I'm saying is those type of guys. Phil Jackson, by the way, was not a great NBA player. Like, he was a good role player.
By the way, put Ty Lue into that category,
correct,
George.
So what I'm saying is some guys just have it. And I think that he has that, like similar to some of the guys I mentioned. Not to say he's going to become those guys, because maybe he flops. But at least from the outside looking in, and even from the inside a little, because I do know the guy a little bit, I feel like he's got the right personality. I think he can relate to guys in a way that older guys can't necessarily relate to. This is a very strange time in the league where we've got these older guys that we've already illustrated, LeBron, Kevin Durant, all these type of guys who played with him and respect him. And then the younger guys who saw him play, but he's not old, so he can relate to them in a way that most of the other coaches can't.
Listen, I'm not here to knock J.J. Redick and the possibility that he might be a really good NBA head coach. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible.
I think it's definitely worth an interview.
Okay, listen, I have no problem with an interview. And if they hired J.J. Redick, if the Lakers actually hired J.J. Redick, here's what my thought would be. All the things you talked about, he grinded, he worked hard. He had to do things differently. He had to work harder. Maybe he wasn't the most talented guy. Maybe he was restricted by a coach. He is respected by guys. His media career has made him perhaps more popular, has made his brain that much more noticeable for people that didn't know what kind of a player he was behind the scenes. All of those things are fair. I can buy all of those things. And listen, there are examples of guys who have gone from not being a coach to all of a sudden being a first-time head coach or manager. I mean, I think about John Lynch as a general manager with the 49ers. Listen.
He had never done it. And people thought that he was, like, when they hired him, people thought, oh, they're nuts doing that.
Well, I mean, he was a great player. He was a really fine broadcaster. And they put him into the general manager role, and look what the 49ers have turned into. He's become a much better general manager than we knew. I'll give you another example. This is way from left field here. But I got a buddy of mine by the name of Brad Ausmus.
Mm-hmm.
And Brad Ausmus was a really good catcher in Major League Baseball. He never managed before. He managed Team Israel in the World Baseball Classic because his great-great-grandmother was Jewish, and that made him eligible to manage Team Israel. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, he managed for the first time in his career with the Detroit Tigers, and he had success. He didn't win a World Series, but he had success. On the flip side of that, you think about a guy like Steve Nash, okay? Steve Nash was a guy that was an excellent player, an MVP caliber player, a guy who worked real hard, had great skills, knew the game, was essentially handpicked by Kevin Durant, okay? And we all know how that one turned out. I would say this, that J.J. Redick, if he becomes the head coach of the Lakers, and I'm not ruling it out at all, it's because he's handpicked by LeBron.
Oh, okay, here's what I would also say. The biggest difference between J.J. Redick and Steve Nash personality-wise, Steve Nash did not want confrontation. He never. As a player, he wasn't that. As a coach, he wasn't that. J.J. Redick, no worries about. He's okay to have a tough conversation with you. He did it as a player, and he'll do it as a coach.
Yeah, but listen. I guess what I would say,
and
is
that's a quality that's important as a coach.
I'll buy that as an important quality. But I would say this to you: that if J.J. Redick becomes the Lakers coach, he'll know it. You'll know it. I'll know it. Everybody will know it. That he's LeBron's go-to.
And do you know
guy.
how Pat Riley became the Lakers coach?
I feel like Jerry West didn't want to coach the team anymore, and
No. Because remember, it was Paul Westhead who was the coach,
right?
and
Paul
got let
became
go.
the coach.
No,
yeah,
it was Magic wanted him as the guy.
Okay, I don't,
and that worked out just fine.
It did work out fine, but let's also remember that Pat had a great team.
Oh, no question.
He had a lot of great players,
right?
Okay, and they took to him right away because of some of the qualities you're talking about with JJ, which is fresh out of the game. I would say this though. I would rather have a guy who's already been a somewhat proven commodity. You know, so I guess if it came down to this,
look, if Ty Lue's available, he should be your first choice.
Right. If Ty Lue
I mean, I'm not debating that. Like,
right.
I'm just talking about, because the Ty Lue one is obvious to me. Because you screwed that up the first time, you should make amends for that. But if he's not available, which, by the way, I don't think is a given, okay?
Oh, I don't think it's a given at all.
Everyone thinks, like, you think Steve Ballmer with a year left on his deal is going to just hand over Ty Lue to the Lakers?
Very good point.
That's the
That's the point right there, though, is that's just it. Is that you could, listen, The Clippers were an embarrassment last night, okay? They lost by 30 points at
I mean,
home.
James Harden did what James Harden does in the playoffs a lot.
Let me tell you something. I don't even want to talk about James Harden because he screwed me on Prize Picks last night, okay? But I'll get into that. The Clippers humiliated themselves last night. But here's the thing. If you're Steve Ballmer, and Steve, shout out to you because I know you're driving down the road listening because everybody is. Steve Ballmer knows that if he lets Ty Lue go, he's immediately going to the Lakers. It's kind of like the Angels. They knew that as soon as Ohtani was a free agent, he was going to the Dodgers. And guess what? The Angels, I mean, you're like, whoa, are they playing? Is the season going on? I mean, Ohtani and the Dodgers, they take all the coverage. I'm just telling you this. You do not want to give up Ty Lue to the Lakers.
No, 100%, and I don't think they will. By the way, there was a lot of rumors that Ty Lue might have wanted to have gone to coach Milwaukee or Phoenix last year. And and again, I don't have this locked down, but there were plenty of rumblings about that and rumors about that. And I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just telling you what I heard second and third hand, okay? And what I also heard second and third hand was the Clippers were like, no, we value Ty too much, and he's under contract for 2 more years.
Hey, I'll just say, last thought on Ty Lue. If I'm the Clippers, I'm not firing Ty Lue, not just because I don't want him to immediately walk across town and go to the Lakers, but I'm not putting what's happening with the Clippers on Ty Lue. I'm putting what's happening on the Clippers on Kawhi Leonard. And I'm putting it on.
It's a complete disaster.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you keep paying this guy over and over and over again. He plays.
I would have rather have paid Paul George.
Right.
At least he's more available.
But he plays in games, Kawhi Leonard, and you go, okay, I understand on both sides of the floor why Kawhi Leonard is considered a top 5 player in the NBA. But you know what? You get to this point in the season and you can't be available for your team. It's a complete waste. So I don't put the Clippers, even if they get knocked out this weekend, which I think they're going to, even if they get knocked out, I'm not putting that on Ty Lue.
Agreed. I think it's just the whole situation is a mess there. And, I don't know what answers they will have from a coaching perspective moving forward. And I think they have a lot of crazy decisions to make to begin with, which we can get into later in the next hour. Because Blake is going to join us in 10 minutes, and we're at least 7 minutes over this break.
How old was Magic? What year was Magic in his career when Pat Riley took over? Was it his rookie year? Because, I mean, that's also a big difference. Magic was coachable, whereas LeBron's 40 years old, and J.J. Redick knows I'm coming in
Magic
here.
was young, clearly, yes.
Yeah, so it's a big difference.
Yeah. But still handpicked, nonetheless. Yeah. All right, Cappy. We're going to have Radio Tinder, abbreviated version. Then Blake's going to join us. There's a lot of Dodger stuff. We got Walker Buehler we want to get into. Andy Pages is balling out for the Dodgers. We'll get into some of that in the Dodgers. We'll get back to the Lakers in the 6 o'clock hour. But first, Cappy, tell them about your friends at Coors.
Oh, I would love to, because I'm telling you right now, if you go outside, if you look outside right now, this is like my favorite time of the day, like 5:30. The sun's got about another hour and a half to set. But just this time of the day, the way the sun is, it's just such a beautiful evening out there right now. And this is the time to get out for a little bit of fun and icy cold Coors Light. And listen, just enjoy everything that we get to enjoy here in Southern California. I mean, when you look up and down the coast and you see what's going on, I mean, just the beauty, the nature, the beaches, the people. I mean, it's just the greatest place on the planet. And you know what just makes it even that much better? Icy cold Coors Light. Now, you can pick up Coors Light right nearby you, right? You can go into your local convenience store, your grocery store, your liquor store. You can get icy cold Coors Light. But nowadays, you can even have Coors Light delivered right to your door. So do this. Visit this website. It's cachoosechill.com to learn more. cachoosechill.com, and you're going to learn all about icy cold Coors Light, how to have it delivered, etc. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And when drinking that icy cold Coors Light, celebrate responsibly, everybody.
Hey parents, another fun fact for you here from Children's Dental Fun Zone. They are open 7 days a week, so your child can be seen any day of the week, and they take emergencies, which is obviously something you need to be aware of because you never know when those emergencies will come about.
Good Thursday afternoon. Radio Tinder time. We like to play a TV theme or a wrestling theme. Happy 52nd birthday to The Rock. You can follow producer Michael Funches on Twitter, maybe Instagram. He's sitting in for producer Lindsay today. Don't forget about our sponsor, Tequila Mandala. Always swipe right on Tequila Mandala, founded in the city of Downey, just like me. Take it away, producer Funches.
Thank you, Christopher. All right, guys. So driving here today, I'm not going to say I'm a fast driver, but I encountered maybe 3 or 4 drivers in the fast lane holding up traffic, going about 60 miles an hour. Cars are lined up behind them and eventually going to their lane to pass them, and you can see them getting mad and everything. Worst thing ever. So you have to go at least 70 to 75 miles an hour in the fast lane, or you're doing people behind you a disservice. Swipe left for yes, swipe right for no. Sedano.
Yeah, swipe right. If you're in the left lane, bro, you got to go faster.
You got to go fast, right?
That's the reality of it. Like, honestly, it's not even just the freeway. I would say if you're on like a road that has long stretches.
Like a 2-lane highway or something like that?
Right. Like you need, left side. Everyone understands left side is for passing. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? You want to go slow? Chill on the right side of the road, you know?
You want to know what the problem is, though, out there right now? And there's a lot of people driving really slow on the freeways nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what everybody's problem is?
What?
People are baked.
Yeah, that too.
For real, dog. Seriously. Like, you get behind somebody, you're doing 75 miles an hour, and then you get up on somebody, and they're doing 50, and you're like, hello? And you start giving them your flashers, your high beams. You beep at them. You're like, hello? You're on the freeway, man. You're doing less than the speed limit. What's going on in there? They're freaking baked.
Also on their phones, too, which is really annoying.
Especially in like bumper-to-bumper traffic.
Yeah, I hate that one.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys will hate being behind me then.
Why, you getting baked on your phone?
No, I'm not getting baked, man. But I am on my phone a lot. I got to learn how to not be on my phone.
I get that. My daughter always is all over me. She's like, you're going to get into an accident. Get off your phone.
Yeah.
Like, you're right.
Why are you you don't text too while you drive, do you?
I don't text. I mean, that's rude. I mean, to other people, but I mean, I might email. You know,
that's even
that's even worse.
I know.
I mean, I might tweet somebody or something. Instagram.
God. Anyway, go ahead, Funchy. One more.
All right, guy. Actor.
By the way, real quick, just to let people know, of course, Radio Tinder is brought to us by our friends at Tequila Mandala. Always swipe right on Tequila Mandala. Award-winning small batch premium sippy tequila made from the finest mature agaves, available everywhere fine tequilas are sold. Visit their website, especially with Cinco de Mayo, baby. Woo! Gonna get down with Tequila Mandala. I'm gonna try all 4 this weekend.
I want to see video evidence on Instagram. I want to see a tequila Mandala taste testing.
You got it
on Sunday.
On Saturday maybe. I don't know about Sunday, bro. Sundays, you know.
Well, steak
I
Sunday
need a steak Sunday, exactly. So, you know, and I also need a rest day. You know what I'm saying? So, like Saturday, I go a little harder. You know what I mean? Sunday, you got to chill a little bit. But yes, tequilamandala.com. Demand the extraordinary at Tequila Mandala, especially this weekend. All right, Funchy, one more.
All right, actor Jeff Goldblum is making headlines because he just announced he will not be helping his kids when they get older. Now, Goldblum, whose net worth is around $40 million, shared that he's adamant with his kids that they need to work when they get older, telling them, hey, you know, you got to row your own boats. Now, you guys got kids. So, do you agree with him? And your kids won't be getting the Sedano fortune or the Cap fortune?
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that aspect of it. My fortune is a lot smaller than Jeff Goldblum's fortune, so let's start with that part of the equation. But I would say they need to know how to work. You know, it's funny, like, look at the Lakers situation, okay? Jeannie Buss started working for her dad at, you know, like the lower levels of the business, worked her way up, right? And like to me, you know, you have to teach your kids, regardless of your wealth income, the value of a dollar, right? You know what I'm saying? And like hard work, all those things are important regardless of how much money you have as your net worth.
Yeah, so I can respect what Jeff Goldblum is saying. I wonder if he'll really stick with it because I'm a sucker, okay? So, like my kids, George, my oldest, my son Justin's 23. He's going to turn 24 in May. And my next one, Jillian's 21. She'll be 22 in May. And she's graduating college this Saturday. And so I will tell you that as of right now, I still help them a lot. And they
help is different.
Well, no, but I mean, like, okay, I'll give you, like a lot of help, dude. I mean, like when you think about it, I'm trying to explain this to the kids. I'm like, guys, I'm going to try and help you guys learn how to get to financial independence. But you have to understand, Dad's paying your rent, your car payment, your health insurance, your auto insurance, your cell phone bill. I mean, when you really add it all up, I'm paying for a lot. Now, you guys have jobs and you guys are making money, but you guys don't understand that these are the expenses associated with your life. So I'm now starting to work with both of my kids who are graduating college on this is how long I'm going to do this for you.
Right.
But on this date, I'm not cutting you off. By this time, you're going to be prepared because I've given you enough time. Now, is that good or bad?
No, that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. What's the date?
January 1st of the next year.
Of 2025?
Correct. So, like, my daughter's graduating college this Saturday.
Okay, that's fine.
And I'm going to help her with her rent.
Yeah.
I'm going to help her with all the stuff she needs help with. I still pay her car. I still pay her cell phone, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm telling her, hey, look, you need to start, you're working, start saving money so that on January 1st, you take over your rent. You take over your car. You take over your auto insurance.
Yeah, that's fine.
You take over your cell phone.
Yeah, that's fine. I got no
Did you
issues
just
with
tell her that right now, or did you give her like,
no,
like
don't
9
worry
months
about,
or something?
Oh, no, Funch, don't worry about it. She's going to find that out on Sunday. She's going to graduate
Oh,
on
okay,
Saturday.
okay, all right,
She's going to
all
find
right.
it out on Saturday. She graduates.
That's a graduation
Happy graduation.
present.
Here's a graduation
Happy
present.
graduation.
January
You're done.
1st, you're out.
You're done.
Yeah.
I'm done with you. You're off the payroll.
All right. Well, there you go. That is Radio Tinder, brought to you each and every day by our friends at Tequila Mandala. Always swipe right on Tequila Mandala. Go to their website, tequilamandala.com, to find a store or restaurant nearest you, especially this weekend for Cinco de Mayo. Tequila Mandala, demand the extraordinary. All right, Cappy, before we get to Blake Harris, we'll talk some Dodgers with him, our Dodger insider, each and every Thursday around 5:45, and usually more like 5:50 because we're always late. But first, tell them about our other friend, hello, Avner Gat.
Avner Gat. Listen, I'm telling you right now, you have a house, you pay your homeowner's insurance every month, your house has a major flood, and then you call your homeowner's insurance and your adjuster says, I'm going to be able to pay you this much money, 10 grand to fix this whole mess. And you're like, wait a second, 10 grand, that ain't going to fix this mess. I need all new floors. I need all new cabinets. I mean, there's major work here. This is when you call Avner Gat. You see, Avner Gat is a public insurance adjuster. You understand the difference? Avner works for you. The insurance adjuster works for the insurance company. And you can try and negotiate with the insurance company yourself, but you're going to find out it doesn't work that way. And Avner's going to get you the best possible outcome for you, not for the insurance company. Him and his team have been dealing with insurance companies for years. It's all they do. So they've got the experience. They've got the industry know-how. For you, I mean, you need them on your side. A lot of the people who work for Avner, because it's an entire team, it's not just one guy, a lot of the people who work for Avner used to work for the insurance companies, okay? Now, Avner's been at it for 20 years. So now is the time, if you find yourself in this situation where you call your insurance company and they're not going to pay you the kind of money it's going to take to fix your mess, Avner Gat has this unique recipe for winning when it comes to handling homeowners insurance claims. No one, and I mean nobody, messes with my man Avner Gat and his team. So call him, 818-917-5256, 818-917-5256, or go to his website, avnergat.com, AVNERGAT, avnergat.com, 818-917-5256. You call, and on the other end of the phone, hello.
Last Saturday at BMO Stadium, it was another thriller for the black and gold.
Still loose in the area. Bouanga, the shot back post, and he scores!
Another Bouanga banger for the victory.
Oh, what a finish for Bouanga!
Next up, the black and gold travel up north to Levi Stadium for a clash with the Quakes. Coverage of LAFC versus San Jose starts Saturday at 4 p.m. on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Happy 34th birthday. His team had a rough night last night. Happy birthday, Paul George. And on this day in 1986, the great Dolly Parton opened her theme park, Dollywood. And it just makes me think, Cappy could have a theme park. Imagine it. Cappy would. Sedano and Cap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
Jolene! I mean,
love that idea.
Cappy would be banned and barred from Dollywood, though.
Yeah, but I would welcome Dolly to Cappywood.
Yeah.
No problem. And you know what I would have at Cappywood?
Yeah.
I'd have killer old school wooden roller coasters in Cappywood.
No, then you would have a huge insurance problem on your hands.
Well, I'd get Jacob and Ronnie to handle me, and I'd get Avner Gatt to handle things. Between
Right.
the two of those guys, we'll kick everybody's ass.
By the way, it's a Ticket Thursday here on 710 ESPN. You keep listening all day for the cue to call. You just heard it a second ago. And caller number 7, who won 2 tickets, which is the hottest ticket in town right now, Sunday night at the Kia Forum. Netflix is a Joke presents the greatest roast of all time, Tom Brady. Eric Zavalia is our winner. Congratulations to Eric.
Hey, you know that Maj Jabrani is coming in studio on Tuesday.
Next week.
Is it not this week?
Or is it this coming week or the following? That's what I'm
I thought
saying.
it was this week. I told him I wanted him in before this whole Netflix is a Joke festival
Okay.
happens.
So before. Okay, great. So Tuesday he's coming in. So it'll be, is Morales going to be okay with that? You know,
I
it's like
forgot
a Morales
about
day.
Lit.
you
I know. Oh, my God. I can't have Maz be funnier than Morales. That would screw things up. By the way, Morales sent a tweet in the Circle of Trust that he just heard me mention me and Rubber Rachel and a bunch of swings.
Yeah.
And he was like, he spit out his water. he
Yeah,
said.
yeah, I saw that.
Come on, Christopher.
Yeah. Hey, let's get to Blake Harris here because we're running out of time here in this segment, and we want to make sure this young man gets to us. Blake Harris is our Dodger insider, joins us every week on Thursdays around like 5:50, if we're being honest. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Blake H. Harris. He's doing the Lord's work on his Substack, covering the Dodgers each and every day, intimately there. So go to the Blake Harris Substack, subscribe to that. And then Inside the Ravine is the podcast. So let's start with Walker Buehler, okay? Walker Buehler is going to make his first start in 2 years in the major leagues. How has he fared in his minor league outings during his rehab process, Blake?
Yeah, so if you look at the minor league numbers over the last month or so, they aren't too great. He has an ERA above 4. Not necessarily the Walker Buehler we've come accustomed to seeing, but we have to remember it's a hitter-friendly league, and the league he's playing in AAA. Very, very tough to have good numbers there. So, for the most part, the numbers aren't concerning. The good thing is his velocity is there, his command's there. Walker Buehler looks like the pitcher we saw a couple years ago. So, the Dodgers were extra cautious getting him back, and obviously he looks like he's ready to go. So, I'm expecting regular Walker Buehler back at Dodger Stadium Monday night.
Hey, Blake, how much has he done? I mean, what this rehab stint when he actually is in AAA, how long has this gone on? How many starts are we talking about?
Yeah, so I believe he officially made 6 starts, technically 5. I know one of those starts he exited because he got hit by a comebacker, so I think that was like 1 inning. But 5, regular starts. I think the other day he went 5 innings, going about 75, 80 pitches. So he's fully built up. That's why it kind of took, about 5-6 weeks to get him all these minor league starts because the Dodgers, they didn't want to rush him back. They didn't want him coming back and throwing only 3 to 4 innings. So on Monday night, I'm sure he'll have some kind of a pitch count, but he should be ready to go again. Give him 5, maybe 6 innings.
So, Blake, what would be your guess as to what his first couple of starts could look like from a pitch count perspective?
Yeah, I think probably at the very minimum we could expect maybe like 60 to 70. That should be good for 4 to 5 innings. But like I was saying, they've been building him up down there in AAA. They could have just given him 3 starts and then called him up to the active roster because the Dodgers, they do need some starting pitching. But I think they wanted to build him up down there. So again, whatever that pitch count is come Monday, I think starting at 60 to 70 should be fair. But if Dave Roberts comes out and says he's ready to go 75 to 80, that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest either.
Can you guys imagine, though, if Walker Buehler comes back and he comes back to being what he was before he got injured, and then you look at what Glasnow has been so far in the early part of the season, Blake, and you look at what Yamamoto has been, and I know it's been a little up and down, but still, I mean, there's a lot of we see what Yamamoto is. You bring back Walker Buehler, and later in the season you take your time with Clayton Kershaw. I mean, listen, I'm the biggest Dave Roberts defender there is, but there will be no excuse.
I mean, that's the beauty with this whole thing with Walker Buehler. When he got injured, he was the Dodgers' ace. He was their number 1 guy. Coming back from injury, he's going to be their number 3, maybe their number 4 starter. They don't need Walker Buehler to be that Cy Young caliber pitcher that he was a couple of years ago. Now, it would certainly be great if he can return to that level, but if he's able to give the Dodgers innings and remain healthy and be maybe like 75-80% of the pitcher he was a couple of years ago, I mean, all of a sudden this rotation, like you said, Cappy, that Yamamoto, Glass now, they're shoving. You had Walker Buehler to the mix. I mean, it's going to be filthy.
All right, let's talk about my Cuban cousin, Andy Pages. I mean, could this kid be any better? Like, the bottom of the lineup was a disaster. This kid comes in, and all of a sudden, the bottom of the lineup looks a lot different with him in it. I believe he's got 3 home runs. I want to say 10 RBIs in 12 games. I think this kid has been a godsend for them. And I mean, it's early, right? We're only a month or so into the season. But if he can continue at just a decent pace from this, like, you're talking about another potential Dodger Rookie of the Year, which they've had many over the years.
I mean, George, you and I were hyping this kid up all the way back in spring training. We were saying that this was a guy Dodgers fans need to keep an eye on because he was tearing it up in the spring. We knew he was going to come up and tear it up. I didn't think he'd be doing this well, but he has been fantastic, like you said. I know Yamamoto's getting a lot of hype in regards to Rookie of the Year consideration. If he keeps doing this, he could be another Rookie of the Year because the numbers he is putting up are absolutely remarkable. Now, granted, it's a very small sample size. He's been up for, I think, 3 weeks now. I'm sure pitchers are going to figure him out. But having this guy at the bottom of the Dodgers lineup, it's no coincidence that the offense has gotten a lot better ever since Andy Pages got called.
I mean, you hear that, Cappy? Blake knows I know ball. And it's not just basketball. It's baseball, too.
Well, I mean, listen, if Pages wasn't Cuban, you'd have no idea who he was. I mean, right?
Perhaps.
Hey, listen, if he was my Hebrew brother, I'd know all about
whenever
him.
there's a Cuban on the Dodgers, things generally go well. I know last year the kid that was playing third base, he was a little up and down. But, historically there's been some good Cubans here that have provided a lot of action for this Dodger team.
I understand. Listen, you think I wasn't the biggest Julian Edelman fan there ever was? I mean, come on, George. Hey, Blake, what happens, and maybe you could fill us in on Jason Hayward. Like, what's going on with him, and what will happen when he comes back? Whose place will he take? What will happen when all that goes down?
Yeah, that's going to be something very interesting to follow. Jason Hayward was supposed to be back like a couple of weeks ago, but his injury's just been delayed week by week. I think he's probably going to miss another month, but I mean, he still has a lot of things he needs to do. When he comes back, the Dodgers have a really big decision to make because obviously Andy Pages is up right now taking his spot. I don't think you could send Andy Pages down. So if that's the case, maybe like a Gavin Lux or a James Outman, they get sent down to the minors because, again, I don't know how you send down Andy Pages down when he's one of your best hitters. So the Dodgers will get to that decision when they need to. But, yeah, if I were to guess, maybe end of May, early June is when we see Jason Hayward return.
All right, there he is, Blake Harris. Follow him on Twitter at Blake H. Harris. Subscribe to the Substack, for God's sake. The man's doing the Lord's work there about the Dodgers. Go to the Blake Harris Substack. And, of course, the podcast is Inside the Ravine. All right, pal. Thank you, as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Much love, Balake.
Appreciate you guys. Hey, Andy Pages has a higher XWO bacon than Mookie Betts does.
Look at that, Cappy XWO bacon.
Wow. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, Mookie Betts, please.
Yeah.
Nothing compared to Pages.
Needs to eat more bacon. There you go.
Bacon, exactly right.
There you go. All right,
Canadian bacon.
Yeah. Cappy, thanks to
I don't know
Blake.
what that really meant.
You and I
said that.
You and I need to get back into the Lakers and the potential Darvin Ham replacements. As it looks like, according to reports, this could be the last week Darvin Ham is the head coach of the Lakers. But first, tell them about your home away from home, East Central.
Oh, I would love to tell everybody about East Central. So I was at East Central, of course, this week. I live in the East Central, usually 2 to 3 nights a week. It's actually quite lovely. When you live in a building in downtown, you get to know the doorman, you get to know the person who runs the front desk, etc. Now I'm like best friends with everybody who works at the East Central. I know everybody who works the front desk. I know the security guy. I know everybody who works up at the Nixo Lounge. I mean, it really is. I know everybody there because they're like, hey, when I leave, they're like, see you next week, Mr. ESPN. And I'm like, I'll see you on Tuesday. The thing I love about the East Central is they have the biggest hotel rooms in all of downtown L.A. And the reason is because all these new hotels have sprouted up, and they want to have as many rooms in the hotels as they can, so they make them small. East Central's been here for a really long time. The rooms are big. They're luxurious. The furnishing is great. All the rooms have amazing paintings. The Kobe painting, the Mamba room, the Gretzky room, the Madonna room, the Steven Tyler room. It's just really a great place. The bar Nixo is awesome. And by the way, from the street level, right on Figueroa, you're going to see that brand new Kobe mural. It looks awesome. So when you're coming to downtown for a concert, for a museum, for a night out, for a game, We, the Circle, we stay at the East Central in downtown L.A.
Afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. And real quick before Funchy goes, it is a final. The Indiana Pacers have eliminated the Milwaukee Bucks in 6 games. Dame came back today after his injury. Wasn't enough. Indiana blows out Milwaukee with no Giannis on their home floor. What an awful ending to this season for the Milwaukee Bucks and Doc Rivers and Giannis and company. Hey, this is what Giannis wanted, right?
Hey.
Giannis didn't want the coach. Giannis didn't want, Drew Holiday. Giannis, look, for all the love Giannis gets, right? Oh, he's so cute. His dad jokes. Giannis is, LeBron takes a lot of grief, but I feel like Giannis is doing a lot of things lately that deserve a lot more criticism.
What's Dame's status going forward?
I mean, he's under contract for like 3 or 4 more years or something.
I was going to say, though, I wonder, you see, that's the kind of guy I want to have, man. That's the laser I'm looking for, you know? But, it is pretty amazing. But it kind of reminds me, when we think about teams like Denver, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, teams in the West, you look at a team like Milwaukee, superstar-laden team, and then you look at a team like Indiana, not so much. I like building teams, not just going out and hiring superstars. So another example.
All right, now Funchy, you go.
All right, guys. Airbnb just announced that they have 11 new housing experiences set to drop this year, which will be hosted by the greatest names in music, film, television, and sports. Now, a couple that they already announced is the Up House. They actually have an Up House that it's going to be in New Mexico, and it has 8,000 balloons on it, and it's sitting on a crane.
8,000 balloons on a house that's sitting on a crane.
Yes, in New Mexico, the Up House. You ever seen Up?
Yeah, I know what it is. I've not seen it, but it sits on a crane. How high up in the air is the crane?
I don't know exactly, but I saw the picture on TMZ, and it's up high in the air with a bunch of balloons around it on a crane.
All right. That one doesn't do it.
Okay,
keep going.
All right. Also, the second one they announced was the X-Men Mansion, where guests will be able to train like Professor X's mutant students, including a danger room, and also discover their mutant powers and all that crap.
And all that crap.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. And then the last one, which is probably the coolest one for me anyway, is Prince's House from Purple Rain. You get to stay in Prince's House from Purple Rain.
Where was that?
It's in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay.
Also, you also get to go to his studios and all that stuff. So that's the one I want to go to.
Does Morris Day show up?
He probably will. I'm pretty sure you can probably get him right now.
How about Apollonia?
Apollonia, wow.
Yeah, right.
Isn't she
Sheila
dead?
E. Sheila E. will come by unless I'm
she
there.
probably will. Yeah.
She ain't coming by if I'm around.
Jerome will be there too.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, that sounds of the 3 that you just mentioned, I think staying at Prince's place, wearing all purple, walking around, acting cool like your prince. That one sounds the most interesting to me. The up one with the balloons on the crane.
You
Thanks,
could die
but no
from
thanks.
that. You could die from that.
What was this? Oh, the second
The
one
X-Men.
was train like an X-Man.
Yeah,
I
train
don't
like
need
an
to do
X-Men.
that.
Yeah.
I don't need to do that.
Yeah. I want to stay at Prince's house.
Big D, what do you want to do? Should we get Prince's house, Big D?
You know, I don't know too much about Prince. You know,
Man, to be young.
Other than Purple Rain, but
Yeah.
you know, I wouldn't mind staying. You know.
Yeah.
at the
Do you know
Prince.
anything about when doves fly?
No.
You ain't know nothing about when doves fly.
No, doesn't ring the bell.
Oh, come on,
Man.
dog. Dog, for real?
Let's go crazy. No,
Come
you know
on,
that song?
man.
Nah.
I mean, Little Red Corvette.
I do know that one. Yeah. I do
Okay.
know that one. I know
How about
that one.
1999? You know anything about 1999?
If I hear it, I feel like that
2000 party over, out of sight. Just put Prince 1999. You had to have heard that
Come
song.
on, no. When doves cry, you don't know when doves cry?
When Doves Cry is not as popular.
Come on, when doves cry?
1999 plays a lot more, and like on the radio, it plays more like. You've heard this.
I definitely heard this one.
Yeah, see? He knows this one.
Okay, but wait a second. Hold on. To your point, I will grant you that 1999 is probably a more popular song.
Yeah, it still gets radio play in a very,
Yes, yeah.
very like, it's still very popular on radio.
But I don't think that When Doves Cry is like some deep track.
No,
If
it's
you-
not, but not as popular today as it was back in the 80s and maybe even the 90s
Okay,
when it would
but-
still get some play.
But come on,
It's
listen
a
to this
great,
song.
it's a great guitar riff. I mean,
You're gonna
I will
make
tell
me
you
look-
this.
Yeah.
People will say Eric Clapton is the greatest guitarist of all time, or Eddie Van Halen. Prince laps those guys 6 times over, in my
really?
opinion.
He taught himself how to play guitar, too.
He did. And by the way, Clapton has even said that Prince is a better guitarist than him.
Listen, Big D. When
heard
you
this
say
song. I
when
heard
you
this
say
song.
you don't know when
You
doves
heard it
cry.
before?
I heard this song
Okay,
already.
good
You
for
know,
you.
you know what's going to happen? My phone's going to ring in a matter of seconds. My boy Romeo on your radio is going to be like, "Yo, man, who you got on the show with you? He don't know when doves cry." Come on,
And you're going to
dog.
say he's 25.
I'm going to say still 25 is no excuse.
I just told you I know the song. You know, I
He
just
heard
it
the
right
song.
now.
He just don't know the title.
You know what you need to do, man?
What's
Let me
that?
ask you a question.
What's
You ever
happening?
seen the movie 8 Mile?
Come on, man. That's a staple.
Okay, well, you know what? Go a generation earlier. Go see Purple Rain.
I mean, I don't know if that one holds up for you, DeAndre. I got to be honest.
DeAndre,
with
you
you.
can be
Why-
bored
why-
of
why-
Purple
why-
Rain.
why-
Yeah.
I mean, I have not seen that movie in 30 years. Probably.
He needs to see this movie. In fact, you know what we should start doing, George? Every week we should assign
DeAndre
Big
like
D
an old movie from the
a
80s or
movie.
90s.
That's right. And he needs
know
to go
what?
see the movie, something he's never seen, something he's never heard
Well, I mean,
about.
they're all on like these streaming platforms, so
Right.
he could access them fairly
and then
easily.
he can give us his opinion about movies that we know, that we like, that we think he should know.
You know, starting tonight, I'll watch Purple Rain for you, Cat.
You'll watch Purple Rain tonight.
I think you're going to be bored as hell.
Half an hour in, he's going to be bored.
You're going to be bored as hell.
No, you're not, man.
I maybe I'm wrong.
Yo, you like hot chicks?
I mean, yeah,
mean,
Apollonia is
come on now,
beautiful.
yeah.
Don't get
you
me
like,
wrong.
Yo, you like motorcycles, dog?
Ah,
You like cool outfits?
of course, man.
You like good music?
Yeah, I think you're going to be bored as hell.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, when you see Prince's drip, you're going to be like, oh, hell yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, that's
I
right.
mean, for the 80s, it was incredible. But you know what I'm saying? It's the
Big
80s.
D, Big D, let me tell you
40
something right
years
now.
ago.
This is my opinion. You go watch
I can't
Purple
believe
Rain.
Prince is dead, dude. That's still crazy to me.
You go watch Purple Rain, and dog, you're going to have a whole bunch of ideas as to what you should be wearing to Mandy's 3.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that where you get your ideas from? You get it from
Well,
Prince?
no, you know, I have a clothing designer, Zap.
Okay, that's right.
Who left
that's right.
Cappy a message the
That's
other
right.
day.
That's right.
Yeah, me and Zap, we were going back and forth a little bit.
That's right.
I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go with like the Gucci Smoochie, or I may go with the BMW outfit that he likes me to wear, or I may do the mushroom outfit he wants me to wear. You know, so I'm trying to figure it out. He and I are going to the fabric store, and he's going to pick out some fabrics, and then he's going to mold it to my body.
Man, I feel like the circle of trust about to at me right now. You don't know Prince? How do you
should be
not
at
know
you.
Prince?
Come on,
Because you're
How-
young. That's
I
why.
know,
but
but know
still,
his music.
But still, I feel
He's
like
an icon.
DeAndre, what's your dad's name?
My dad's name is Marcus.
Okay, I need to talk to Marcus. I need to talk to your dad.
We need to get Marcus on the phone.
I do need to talk to your father.
He'll shun me right now for saying something like this. on
Right.
radio.
He'd be like, man, listen. Just when he asks you if you know something that you don't know, just say you know it.
No, don't do that. That's what Cappy would do, because then we're going to follow up, and then you're really going to look silly. So don't do that either.
Shout out to Marcus. Teach this
Shouts
young
out to
fella about some Prince.
You know what you should do? Here's actually a better move. Instead of having to watch a movie you're going to think is boring, okay? How about
out of my mind?
How about on the weekends when you're at the parents' house, right? And you guys are grilling, you're doing that. You go with the Prince catalog. And you have, like, on one of the streaming services, you play some of his music, and then you get familiar with his music. Because that's way better than the movie.
Or you go to your girl's crib, okay? Because, George, I don't know if you've seen the
I saw the
movie
big
theater.
TV, yeah.
I mean,
I saw me on the big TV one day,
Right. Yeah. His girl got this crib where she got this giant movie theater at her house. So you watch that Prince movie, you watch Purple Rain on your girl's movie theater screen, and then come back and let me know what you think.
I got you.
All right, feeling you.
All right, Cappy, we didn't get to any of the stuff about the Lakers head coaching situation,
That's
but here's what I would say. So we talked about Ty Lue and JJ Redick as possibilities. I just don't see this thing where, and maybe I'm wrong, I just don't see Steve Ballmer say, sure, Lakers, you can have Ty Lue. Now, maybe if you want to give me a first-round pick, which, by the way, the Lakers only have 3, and they can ill afford to give one up for a coach, in my estimation. I could be completely wrong on this. I just don't see that materializing. Now, let's do this on the flip side. Let's say the Clippers do come back to win this series. And I know everyone is like, oh, the Clippers are clipping, and the Clippers going to clip, and clip. And I get all that.
They did clip last night, losing 30 at home.
They did. But what if they do come back to win?
Come on. They ain't coming back.
What if, though? What if? Then I will say this. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I'm not reporting this. This is like reckless speculation on my part. But I wouldn't be completely surprised if Jason Kidd was not retained. Do I think it's likely? No, I think he'll probably have his job. But I don't think there's like 100% assurance if they lose in the first round, they blow this lead that he doesn't get fired. And I think Jay Kidd would be someone, as we talked about the other day, that LeBron would also and AD would also be respected a big way and would command the respect of the players as not only an all-time great player, but also a guy who can relate to young players. Like, look what he's done for Kyrie, man. Like, I don't think they should fire Jason Kidd in Dallas, even if they lose, just because of look at what he's done to Kyrie, who was toxic in a lot of ways.
Jason Kidd has, and I don't know if we should give him all the credit. I got to give Kyrie a lot of credit, too.
No, 100% Kyrie deserves a lot of the credit and the majority of the credit. But
he's been professional for 2 years.
And by the way, you know, one of his idols was Jason Kidd. Kyrie grew up a Nets fan when Jason Kidd was going to the finals and losing to the Spurs and the Lakers. So, like, I think that's my point, is that these dudes respect that dude.
Yeah, well, you don't want to be aggregated with this reckless speculation, but I don't know if you saw that I got aggregated just yesterday.
What?
Yeah, I got aggregated, and I told everybody I wanted to be aggregated when I made the suggestion that the Lakers should get Caitlin Clark because they need a laser. Mm-hmm. And I was like, aggregate me. Go ahead. Aggregate me. I want to be aggregated. I got aggregated all over it.
Where?
You know, on the internet. You know, those aggregation sites.
Like Sportsnot?
That's right.
Yeah.
I wanted to be aggregated. You, on the other hand, you don't want to be aggregated.
No aggregation.
I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark to the Lakers.
So I think, and there's one more person, actually, that if he became available, I would be okay. And it's actually a familiar name. So let's do that on the other side. And I want to get to this Caleb Williams story. Did you see what Cam Newton said about Caleb Williams?
I did see this.
All right, let's get into that, too, on the other side. All right? But first, let me tell you about my friends at Tequila Mandala. All right, listen. This is the time of year, folks. You know what I'm saying? Cinco de Mayo. I mean, it's always a Tequila Mandala day at my house. You know what I'm saying? But especially this weekend, you got to get out to your local Total Wine because we know they stock Tequila Mandala. And all 4 of them, the Blanco, the Reposado, the Añejo, and the Extra Añejo, okay? You can go to their website, tequilamandala.com, to find a store or restaurant nearest you as well. But here's the deal. We all know we love Tequila Mandala, award-winning artisanal small batch premium sipping tequila made from the finest mature agaves. Available everywhere fine tequilas are sold. So as I mentioned, visit their website, tequilamandala.com, to find a store or restaurant nearest you. But here's the thing. You've seen how much we adore Tequila Mandala. They're part of the 710 family, particularly part of the Sedano and Kap family, okay? And you've seen us post about it. You've seen us talk about it. Those beautiful hand-painted round ceramic bottles. It's a conversation starter, no question about it. But nothing, I repeat, nothing like the nectar of the gods inside those bottles. The Blanco, the Reposado, the Añejo, and the Extra Añejo. Man, let me tell you something. If you haven't tried Tequila Mandala, what are you waiting for? Get some for your next occasion. Cinco de Mayo, the anniversary, the birthday party. Getting a new job, right? That's a cool event. The carne asada, whatever you want to get it for. Get yourself some Tequila Mandala today. Again, go to their website, tequilamandala.com. All right, to find a store or restaurant nearest you. Tequila Mandala, demand the extraordinary. All right, parents, here's some fun facts for you here from Children's Dental Fun Zone. First tooth, first visit. Once those teeth pop out, you gotta bring them to Children's Dental Fun Zone. And as far as ortho is concerned, you gotta get those kids here by the age of 8.
Listen to Sedano and Kap more at 4 p.m.
And it is Sedano and Kap your Thursday afternoon, around 6:15 in the Southland on this National Life Insurance Day. This guy's too young to worry about life insurance. Time for the Producer D rejoin of the day. We still need a better name. Take it away, Producer D.
Oh! I haven't heard this song in forever.
Oh.
This song dirty as hell, too.
Oh, yes. You got a Superman, them Joes. Yeah, yeah.
17 years ago today, the song Crank That by Soulja Boy was released.
Man, you know what the three of you guys, your problem is you don't do what I do.
What?
You don't watch the YouTube version of the show while we're on the show.
Yeah.
If you did, you'd see me Supermaning right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm showing it off right now.
Right.
Can't believe you know about Soulja Boy. You ain't know nothing about no Prince.
Oh, hold on. Soulja Boy was the one. He's iconic because, he did the whole thing. He is iconic. You don't laugh. You know he's iconic for the whole dancing. And he's big on YouTube. He was the first one to really be big on YouTube for real with this whole dancing. I'm telling you right now.
Come on, man.
I love how a 25-year-old is telling us Soulja Boy is more iconic than Prince.
Well, do you know the LeBron Soulja Boy story?
No, what is it?
So, I want to say, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, that LeBron and the Cavs at the time, they had like a little early in LeBron's career. He was very young. Like they had this little like beef with the Washington Wizards. That was the Gilbert Arenas Washington Wizards, and they had Caron Butler and Deshaun Stevenson and whatnot. And Deshaun Stevenson was like, considered just like Ruben Patterson was considered the Kobe stopper,
LeBron
right?
stopper, huh?
Yeah, but he was like supposed to be the LeBron stopper or whatever. So LeBron used to light him up or whatever. And then apparently they were all at the same club in DC one night, and LeBron, I want to say that Deshaun Stevenson said that LeBron was overrated, okay? And then LeBron's response was basically saying, yo, man, that's like Soulja Boy dissing Jay-Z. Okay. And then at the club that night, Jay-Z came out and performed a brand new single that had LeBron in the lyrics in front of the Wizards and Deshaun Stevenson. Yeah, so that's the story, how it goes. But that's how Soulja Boy and LeBron became a beef. Yeah,
dissing friggin' Jay-Z.
Have you guys heard the 710 version of Crank That with Mace? Mario did a Crank That version with.
I feel like I have, but if you want to play it again, feel free. Yeah, I would love to hear that.
Soulja Boy.
Yeah. In the
710 up in it. Oh, it's the Stephen Mason show. Watch him crank like Soulja Boy and Superman. You crank that Soulja Mason. You the tree hugger Mason. You recycle all your jokes. You got the biggest nose. 710 up in it. Oh, it's the Stephen Mason show. Watch him crank like Soulja Boy and Superman. You crank that Soulja Mason. You got no rhythm, Mason. You love the Clipper Nation. You are the man, Steve Mason.
Yeah, you recycle them jokes. You hug them tree. You talk about, we've been talking diss tracks all week. I mean, that's a diss track right there.
Yeah.
You got to see the video, too, man.
Yeah, he's doing the dance with some Clipper cheerleaders.
That's funny.
Oh, my God, that's awesome. That is hilarious. All right, well, there you go. Soulja Boy. Them,
Cappy, one more thing on the Lakers before we switch to Caleb here. And what Cam Newton said about him. What if Frank Vogel gets let go? Would you be okay bringing Frank Vogel back?
So I would think that if I'm LeBron and AD and you told me you were bringing Frank Vogel back, I would say in this environment with the current roster, let's just play this out for a second, that Frank Vogel would be significantly better prepared to coach this team because his calling card is defense. And they may not have great defensive players, but a better defensive scheme or use of players, and maybe, guys get healthy. I would think that LeBron and AD would say, hey, look, we all won a championship together. We're connected for life. So I would think that they would accept Frank Vogel back. I mean, that's really what it comes down to for me. Will LeBron accept the coach, and will LeBron go into the locker room and tell everybody else, hey, this is our coach. I listen to him. You listen to him. We follow his lead. And if LeBron will do that, well, then me and LeBron are on the same page.
All right, fair enough.
How about you?
I'd be totally fine with Frank coming back. I never thought he should be fired. I remember when we talked about that at the time.
Again, he was only fired because this roster had gotten out of control and because Russell
Westbrook wanted to bench Russ.
Right, and Russell Westbrook is not coachable. And Russell Westbrook isn't even really, he loses such control. I mean, I'm sure you saw the other night what happened against Dallas where he kind of flung,
Yeah,
Luka
him and
around.
PJ Washington and Luka
Right.
got into it.
But
yeah.
then Luka was like walked up on him like, "Yo, man, come on, man, really?" And then Russ pushes him in the chest, and then before you know it, everybody's going at it. And then that turned into a whole other controversy. I'm sure you guys have followed the whole Stephen A. calling the league.
Yeah, calling the league,
why he
which
wasn't
was like
suspended.
wild. Yeah.
And then everybody else going off on Stephen A.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of going off, the Knicks are going off in the first quarter. They're up 28-9 in Philly to try to close out this series.
26-9 Knicks right now over Philadelphia.
No, I just called
4:17
timeout.
to
It's
go.
28-9, 4:01 to go.
Stop being so far ahead of me.
I mean, I'm sorry. All right, now Caleb Williams. So Cam Newton, former number 1 overall pick, and former NFL MVP as well. You know, he's got a podcast, 4th and 1, which is his podcast because he was number 1. And he had some thoughts on Caleb Williams, okay? So, and about Caleb Williams' transition to the NFL from college, being this dynamic college player that makes incredible plays, and can that translate on the next level? So here's what Cam said.
I think his gift can and possibly will be his curse.
And what is that?
His inability to make the bold play. Like, damn. Like, whoa, don't. No. Damn good ass play. One of them type. You see what I'm saying? And also, how does he manage the expectation? That's the bad. You can't prepare for that.
Yeah.
When I see his career and how it stacks up, it is very well known that he is capable of making plays. Obviously, everybody says Caleb Williams' NFL comparison will be Patrick Mahomes.
That's a big comparison.
It's a big comparison. I think it is an accurate comparison, though, too. He is very skillful while throwing on the run, and while he's scrambling, he's not just looking to run. He's looking to extend the play. He has the capabilities of making the bold play. But my concern would be, how does he manage the expectations of being the projected number 1? Because it's not going to be all peaches and cream, bro.
Yeah.
It's not. It is not. Let's get the opportunity to knock your head off. They're going to try to knock your head off.
Look, he's right about all that, but basically what he's saying is, you know, he made those no, yes plays in college. Is he going to be able to do that in the NFL, or are they going to beat him out of it a little bit, right? Like whether it's guys literally knocking his bleeping head off, like he said, or the coach is trying to beat it out of him and, like, don't make those kind of plays because they can cause negative plays for us and puts us at a disadvantage. And, you know, look, he is like Patrick Mahomes. That's what makes him special. So I think he wonders, will they allow him to be him, and can him be successful? Can he be successful doing it his way in the NFL? And can he manage the expectations of being the number 1 overall pick? Those, I think, all are valid questions.
Well, I'll tell you this right now, George. I can remember many, many years ago when Michael Vick was the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, so we're going back a long time, right? And his head coach at the time was Jim Mora. And this is before Jim Mora. This is junior. This is long before he became the head coach at UCLA, okay? And I remember one time I was talking to Jim Mora, and I said, Coach, why don't you let Michael Vick be Michael Vick? Why are you trying to force him into being something that he's not? And, you know, NFL coaches have giant egos, you know, and they want to control everything. And so that's why they were trying to beat that out of him. They weren't taking advantage and celebrating what Michael Vick does. They were trying to take from him what his true gifts were. You understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
And so when I said to Jim Moore, I go, why don't you just let him do what he does? Why are you trying to turn him into a pocket passer? He's not a pocket passer. And boy, was Mora pissed at me. He got so freaking angry with me. Like, how dare you ask me that question? I know more football in my pinky finger than you'll ever know in your entire
Jim
life.
Mora Jr. was also very super serious. Like, his dad was a lot more playful. The son was not.
Right. No sense of humor at all. But beyond the sense of humor, like, how about an open mind? You know? And that's what I think Cam Newton is talking about. Like, when he gets to Chicago, Caleb, they need to celebrate what made him the number 1 overall pick, not try and take that gift away from him. We'll see if they've got the courage to do it. Because you know how NFL coaches are. They want to control everything.
Oh, no question. So I am genuinely curious to see. Although the game has opened up a lot more from back in those days with Michael Vick, and even from when Cam Newton was playing, certainly. So there is that. But all right, Cappy, we'll to be continued, as they say. Big deal or no deal is coming up here in just a second. But first, Cappy, I believe you have to tell us about your friends at Prize Picks.
Let me tell you about my friends at Prize Picks. Hey, James Harden, you're no friend of mine. James Harden, you hear me? You are no friend of mine, buddy. Okay? Last night on Prize Picks, I had Luka to score more than 7.5 points in the first quarter. No problem. 8 points for Luka. Comes out firing, winds up scoring over 30 last night. You know that Prize Picks yesterday gave me a 20% discount on James Harden? I had James Harden to score more than 17.5 points. Wouldn't everybody have made that play? Come on. There's no Kawhi. Harden's going to fire bombs all night long. 17.5 points. Man, he'll have that in the first half. 7 points for the night? James Harden, no more, man. You and me, we're done, bro. We can talk beards, okay? We can do that together. But you and me, I'll never play you again on Prize Picks ever again. So here's what I want everybody to do. Download the Prize Picks app right now. Download that Prize Picks app. Use my code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. They'll match your first deposit 100% up to $100. And then here's what I want you to do. Once you download Prize Picks and once you start playing the game, it's super easy. It's a lot of fun. You take two players. You decide are they going to score more or less, or there's lots of other player stats and projections. It's really that easy. You could literally turn $10 into $1,000. But what I want you to do is this. When you make your play on Prize Picks, share it with me on Twitter so that I can play your Prize Picks. Okay? Does everybody got that? Download Prize Picks, use my code CAPPY. They'll match your first deposit 100% up to $100, and then share your Prize Picks with me on Twitter. Download Prize Picks and use my code CAPPY.
Cap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN. It's 6:30 p.m. Big deal or no deal. Take it away, Sedano.
Thanks, Christopher. All right, real quick. The Knicks were up big, 28-9. Philly has gone on an 11-0 run. It's 33-22. Actually, Knicks just struck back with another 3, so it's still a 14-point lead. But this game is a lot closer now than it was earlier. It's no longer a 20-point game. It's down to 14, which is a lot more manageable early here in the not early in the game, but it's still in the first quarter. All right. Take it away, Funchy.
All right, guys. Quietly this week under the radar, Ezekiel Elliott re-signed with the Dallas Cowboys after spending 1 year away from them with the New England Patriots. Now, Elliott spent his first 7 years in Dallas and is the franchise's third all-time rushing leader behind Emmitt Smith and Tony Dorsett. So, big deal, no deal. Elliott's back in Dallas. Cappy.
I'm going to say no deal. Listen, I'm not saying he can't play. I mean, he went to New England and he kind of was invisible, but I can't really beat up on him too much. I mean, he had no quarterback. He had no real offensive line, no receivers.
He's also not that good anymore.
Well, but again, he doesn't have anybody. As a role guy, could Ezekiel Elliott make a contribution?
Sure,
maybe.
Sure.
Right.
Goal line back, something like that, sure.
But as a full-time, first and second down back, I don't really see it. So that's why, for me, it's a no-deal situation.
Yeah, I'm with him. No deal.
All right, guys. There are reports today that should Turner lose the rights to the NBA. I heard there's going to be a huge bidding war for the NBA rights and everything.
Right. It's that. So ESPN has secured the rights. Our chairman, Jimmy Pitaro, locked that in at a good rate, I would say. And for the A package, as they call it, which includes all the NBA finals, et cetera, et cetera. Basically very similar to what we have. There'll probably be a little less regular season games. But the B package, Time Warner Brothers Discovery, which owns Turner Sports, has not secured their incumbent rights. So now it's gone to market. They did not lock in a deal. And they're basically in a bidding war. NBC is putting in a $2.5 billion
bill.
bill.
John Test music.
The round ball rock.
Oh, I love that. Oh. Well, anyway.
There's a real big chance that Turner could be on the outs here. Yeah.
So should Turner lose the rights to the NBA, Charles Barkley will become a super free agent,
yes,
according to reports.
Bring him over.
And also, Ernie Johnson will stay with Turner while all this happens, too.
Is that sure? Because I thought that I thought they all had outs in their contracts.
Well, I saw Ernie Johnson is the one name that would probably stay. So is this a big deal or no deal? If any of this stuff happens, Sedano.
It is a big deal. Barkley would become a huge free agent. There would be a bidding war between, if NBC got it, and obviously ESPN is retaining it already. We know that. It would be a huge bidding war for Charles Barkley. There's no question about it. And Shaq, too, for that matter, and Kenny. Like, all three of them. Like, if I were... I mean, no disrespect, but like if those three guys are available and you can get them, you go get them. Absolutely. It's no different than Troy Aikman and Joe Buck became available and you went and got them for Monday Night Football. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean you can't find roles for Stephen A. and Michael Wilbon and whoever else is on that show. But I think it makes sense that you would bring those guys in if you can bring them in.
Let's just say that Ernie did stay with Turner and all those guys left. Could it work? The Inside NBA show, whatever, could work with those three guys?
If there wouldn't be an Inside the NBA show on Turner if they lost the rights.
Well, I'm just saying, though, could it work like anywhere else with those three guys without Ernie?
So the answer is yes. Because, listen, Ernie's great. Everybody loves Ernie. Ernie's got an amazing story. There's a lot of humanity to Ernie, and that's why people love him. But the fact is, the stars of the show are really Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. And so if Charles and Shaquille, just the two of them, went to ESPN, they'd be fine. They'd still kill it. Everybody would tune in. It would, but I know what you're getting at. Does it work when it's not all four of them? They all have a great chemistry. There's a great history.
And what Ernie does, the understated part of him just laying out and letting those guys cook is a skill that not everybody has.
No doubt.
Now, it's not to say that whether it's Malika or whoever NBC, Tarico, right, or whoever would be that person, they would understand that's part of the gig, like when you have those kind of guys there, which, by the way, is why those people are also very good hosts and great hosts at what they do as well in Malika and Tarico.
But I think to answer your question from my perspective, Funchy, yeah, I think that Barkley and Shaq in particular, and Kenny's got a role. To me, he's sort of the number 3 star of the show. But yeah, I still think those guys can be successful. Different network, perhaps a different studio host. I still think they can be very successful.
All right, guys, last one. In a live recording of Cam Hayward's Not Just for Football podcast from the Steelers draft party over the weekend, running back Jaylen Warren said special teams coach Danny Smith suggested that Justin Fields, their backup quarterback, could return kickoffs.
By the way, I just had the idea of Shaq and Kenny and Charles and Stephen A. And Malika on the same set.
No, that can't work.
You think Stephen A. couldn't be on there?
No, I think that Stephen A. is too.
I think it would be hilarious. I think
they
they would. First of all, those guys would roast him because they roast each other. They would roast him in a way that would make, I would think, would humanize Stephen A. even more so, and I think it would be great for him in that scenario.
I actually kind of feel like a little bit the opposite, which is Stephen A.'s so big. I mean, his personality is so big, and I think that it would just be too much.
So we saw it at the All-Star game. Remember, Malika hosted with those guys and Stephen A. and Mike Wilbon, and it was really good at the All-Star game. So that's what I'm saying. You've already kind of seen, granted, I get it's one night, but you've already seen a little bit of that, you know?
Hey, listen, if I were running ESPN and those guys were available and I could at least take a look at it for a while and see what it looks and sounds like, I mean, I'd give it a shot. I mean, you're talking about superstar power if you put Barkley, Shaq, and Stephen A. together on the same set.
Well, you just leave Kenny out, man.
Man.
I mean, I'm not.
Damn,
listen,
dog, the jet, just because he fell on his way up to the board the other day.
I can't. Listen, I don't have to hire everybody. I don't have to bring everybody.
You got three amigos, man. You got to go,
Well, I mean, if Charles is willing to take a little less and Shaq's willing to take a little less, then we'll give Kenny some.
I mean, I feel like it'd be okay. Like, everybody's money would be right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's an issue.
All right, so big deal, no deal. Justin Fields, backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, returning kickoffs. Cappy.
I think the notion is a big deal.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Justin Fields might still be a good NFL quarterback. Not that he was a terrible NFL quarterback. He might still be a good NFL quarterback. He definitely can run the ball like a running back. Seriously.
Oh my God, he's an incredible runner. There's no question.
But if I were him, I'm not so sure that I would want to do it. I would want to play, and I'd want the ball in my hands. But kickoff returner when you're a quarterback, and kickoff returner when you've got 1 year left on your contract and you still want to be a quarterback, this isn't Deebo Samuel going from wide receiver to running back. This is quarterback going to kick returner.
Right.
If I'm him, I'm not into it. But if I'm the Steelers, I wouldn't mind experimenting with it.
Yeah, I agree with Cappy. I think, if he's into it, then do it because he's an incredible runner. But, if he has any trepidation, I wouldn't do it.
But don't you not want to put, your quarterback in that kind of danger?
Well, he's also the backup. You know what I'm saying?
Russell Wilson's your starter.
Right. I get it. But Russell Wilson was not – he was terrible 2 years ago. He was serviceable last year. So, perhaps – he in a new situation, he's more than serviceable again.
I would ask this question: who do you think has more upside potential? Justin Fields.
Oh, Justin Fields, of course.
So do I. So to me, I don't love what Mike Tomlin has done here, where he's already committed to Russ as the starter.
I think that Justin Fields sitting a year will help him in the long run.
I think that that committing to Russ this early is something that you do when you're recruiting a starting quarterback, but. They didn't have Justin Fields at the time. Yeah. And so, listen, I will be curious to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers this year because that storyline is very interesting to me.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, I forgot something. Tarico's not a host anymore. He's the main play-by-play guy. So Maria Taylor, who's also an excellent host on Sunday Night Football, and she was here at ESPN doing the NBA as well. So I would imagine she would be the host in that scenario. If NBC got the rights, and Tarico would be calling games with Noah, our guy Noah Eagle, I'm sure would be calling those games in doubleheader situations.
Now I can already tell you that to me, part of the appeal is the locker room that these guys have created, and I wonder if she could fit into that.
Why wouldn't she? Candace Parker's on that show all the time with those guys.
I don't know. I don't know if she could. I don't know. I'm really not sure.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue at all.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Not even a thought.
It's a thought for me, for sure.
Yeah. None for me. Zero. So, Cappy, I'm going to tell you real quick. Next Gen. You know what this is? Do you know that they're the official AC Heat and Plumbing Company of SoCal sports fans?
I've heard this.
I mean, listen, man. You got the billboards all over the place, right? You've seen the trucks all over the place. That's right. Next Gen is the absolute best in the biz. Thousands of 5-star reviews online to prove it. And here are a couple of reviews you need. Mine. I had a drain problem at my house. They came in, $44. They fixed my drain. Camera inspection, drain cleaning, done. Pepe Mantilla had a big plumbing problem. He called me. He goes, Jorge, who do I talk to? Next Gen, of course, that's who you talk to. They took care of Pepe Mantilla, the great Pepe Mantilla, the voice of your Los Angeles Lakers in Spanish. And right now, you can get a 28-point full heat and AC safety inspection and tune-up for only $44. Limited time through the end of the month, through the end of May. That's right, $44 to ensure your system stays running strong all year long. They'll even throw in a free air filter at no extra cost. And I mentioned the slow drain, right? If you're dealing with that, also drain cleaning, camera inspection. Also, in addition to that, $44 as well. And again, guys, to the end of the month you got. So take advantage of it. Call them. You got a drain problem. You got AC, heat, and plumbing problems. Call Next Gen. 833-3-NEXTGEN. That's 833-3-NEXGEN. NextGen includes water, plumbing, heater, AC safety inspections. So prioritize the safety of your loved ones and your home. Say goodbye to your AC, heating, and plumbing problems. NextGen is the only name you need to remember for a safe and comfy home. So you need those solutions? Call them. They got them. They got answers for you at 833-3-NEXTGEN. That's 833-3-NEXGEN. Or visit them online at nextgenaironplumbing.com to schedule your appointment.
Thursday afternoon, final segment. Thank you for listening today. Thank you for spending part of your afternoon with us. Tomorrow's a feel-good Friday. And yes, another full show for Sedano and Cappy. Man, do they miss those Lakers pregame shows, huh? We'll see you tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Have a great night. Enjoy your Thursday. Sedano and Cap, final segment right now.
I mean, we miss them because, if we're honest, we just like to have more personal time. But I feel like the show's been fantastic today, Cappy.
Actually, the show's been really good all week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all week, I would agree. But today, especially.
Yeah, it's been solid, man. I mean, what can I tell you? We're awesome. You know?
I think D-Cash Money, people are loving the teaching D-Cash Money about the oldies,
That's right.
Funchy in the house,
Funch, it's great to have you, Funch. I'm a big fan. I'm a big Funch fan. I'm a fan of
Love
Funch.
you too, guys.
I mean, I love you on Betovision, too, as well.
I heard. That's what
I love you. I'm a big fan of watching you on Betovision.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Beto, he actually sent me some movies that he said I should watch.
Okay.
Some 90s movies.
What are the movies?
So other than Purple
Before
Rain.
we get to Dealer's Choice.
He said Major League, because, Sedano
Oh,
likes
yeah,
it.
Major League is still funny. Yeah. But you got to watch, like, the real version with
Yeah,
the
you gotta
curse
go to
words.
the original.
Okay.
The very
Okay.
first one,
Yeah.
right?
Goodfellas.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
You've never seen Goodfellas?
I have not seen Goodfellas.
Oh, my
It's
God.
a long
how?
movie, by the way, 3 hours. Just so you know.
Better than Godfather.
Funny how? Well, I'm here to amuse
No,
him.
it's good.
Hold on.
It's good.
He knows what he says. He's a big freaking boy over here. He knows what he said.
It's a really good movie.
No,
yeah.
funny. Well, I'm a clown to you. Henry.
He doesn't know. He's laughing at you because of the voice, but he doesn't
but
know
let me
because he
tell
hasn't seen
you-
the movie yet.
Hey, the reason I'm doing it is because, Big D, when you see that scene, then you're really going to die laughing.
Got you.
You see what I'm saying?
What are the movies?
Training Day, which I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that.
Training Day's good.
Yeah, Denzel. And Ethan Hawke.
Casino, I've seen Casino.
Casino's good, too.
Casino's
Pulp Fiction with Samuel.
Pulp
You've
Fiction.
never
you
seen Pulp
it?
Fiction?
I've seen it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I've seen a little bit of it.
Whoa.
I've seen a little bit. I've seen a little bit.
It's an
Understand
LA
people
movie, too.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You lost your LA privileges, man.
Oh,
Yeah, wait till you know that scene? You know the scene I'm talking about, Big D? What now?
No, there's a
Let me
scene
tell
that says
you what
you lost
now.
your LA. You lost your LA.
I'm going to
privileges.
call some hard pipe-hitting brothers to go to work on the homes here with a pair of pliers and a blowtorch. You hear me talking, hillbilly boy? I'm going to get medieval on your ass.
That scene sounds familiar. I've
Yeah,
seen
and then he
clips
says,
of
he goes, no, what now between you and me? He goes, oh, that what now?
You know?
There is no you and me. You lost your LA privileges.
All right,
last
what are the
one.
movies?
Last one right here. Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, Reservoir Dogs
Okay.
is good, too.
All right, that one I don't have a
That's
bunch
the
of lines.
original Tarantino flick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have a bunch of lines memorized on that one.
Yeah, but it's also a great movie.
So I got some movies to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
do.
Those are all really good ones. Beto came through there.
Yeah, nice job, Beto.
Yeah, good job, Beto Vision. Cappy, real quick before you get to Dealer's Choice, shout out to USC, okay? They have added to their women's basketball team, okay? Now, last week they added, we know they have Juju Watkins, who I believe is the next great star in women's college basketball. She's going to be there for at least 2 more years. So last week they added an LA girl in Kiki Iriafen, who was arguably the best player on Stanford's team with Cameron Brink, at worst the second best player, but she's an LA kid coming back from Stanford to LA to play at SC. And then they brought in Talia von Oelhoffen from Oregon State, who was a baller as well. So now they got themselves a big 3 at USC women's basketball. And you know who took notice when we put that out there on Instagram? Uncle Snoop Dogg retweeted or reposted it, on his Instagram story and was excited that the girls at USC got their big 3.
Snoop! Snoop-a-loop! Yeah! Yeah! My dog.
And by the way, one other thing, the Knicks are in real danger of blowing this 20-point lead they had in the first quarter. It is now 41-36. The Sixers have come back, down 5 now. And the Knicks just took a timeout. Joel Embiid is throwing his arms up in the air, getting the Philly crowd into it. They are going nuts after this huge comeback. Basically, they're on a 30-13 run, Philly, right now.
Damn. God, watching Joel Embiid run up and down the floor, it's like, come on,
He's
big
got
fella.
Bell's palsy.
So that doesn't, what does that do to your running?
Bro, his face is like...
I'm not talking about his
frozen.
face. I'm talking about,
I know,
I'm
but
talking about his frozen face.
I understand he's got the knee problem, but that's like something you shouldn't be doing anything with.
I mean, the dude is just laboring, bro.
No, I get it physically, but also that doesn't, dude, do you know anyone that's ever had that before?
I do, but I don't know any NBA players that have ever had it.
It's sort of it's pretty debilitating in a lot of ways.
I don't know, man. I give the guy a ton of credit. He's all heart.
Yeah.
Just watching him get up and down the floor, it's like, come on, big fella. Come on, keep moving. Keep on going, big fella.
All right, Cappy, what's your dealer's choice today?
Speaking of faces, George, you're talking about Bell's palsy. I, too, have a problem with my face.
Yeah, you got that big zit on your chin.
Well, you know what, George? You pointed it out, smart guy, okay? And then here's what happened. I took a couple of pictures. I posted some pictures in the Circle of Trust. I posted some pictures on Instagram. And don't you know that everybody's making fun of Mount Vesuvius in the middle of my chin? Okay? Let me tell you something. So I started growing this little goatee here a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, just a little something different, a little something new, Something a little different, maybe a little edge to old Cappy. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you what happened. Then all of a sudden, I got this giant, what I thought was a zit in the middle of my goatee. So I'm standing in front of the mirror, and, dude, I'm trying everything I can to pop this thing. And I'm thinking it's just going to explode like a volcano.
Right.
It never happens. Then you said to me, well, maybe it's an ingrown hair. Okay?
Right.
This thing's been going on for like 2 weeks. So today, I go to the doctor for a physical, and he says, hey, so everything good? What's going on? Any chest pain? I'm like, no. He's like, any ass pain? I'm like, yeah, a lot. You don't even understand. You got to meet the people I work with. And he's asking me all these questions, right?
We're like built-in hemorrhoids.
Right. And so he goes, well, any skin conditions that I should look at? I go, hey, look right here. Look right here, Doc. Look at the middle of my chin. I go, Doc, you understand? I don't want this goatee anymore. It was cute for a week or two, okay? I want to get rid of it. But if I shave the goatee, George, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to have a third eye. This giant red...
Third eye blind?
Yeah, I'm going to have this giant freaking red thing in the middle of my chin.
So what did he say?
So he says to me, the doctor, he says to me, I'm gonna send a prescription to your pharmacy. I go, prescription? What's going on here, Doc? And he says, well, it's probably an ingrown hair. It looks infected. It looks very, red, and it looks swollen. And you know what he called it? It was disgusting. I was disgusted.
Yeah.
He said it's kind of like a boil. A boil?
A boil on your face?
I don't have a boil on my chin, bro. I don't even need a new doctor. So anyway, I go to the pharmacy to pick up this cream, right? And the pharmacy doesn't have the cream. So I say to the pharmacist...
Did you get the clear?
No, I didn't get the clear or the cream. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So the pharmacist is like, well, go get some of this antibiotic ointment, triple level, whatever, over the counter. So I got to get rid of this thing, man. I got a graduation for my daughter on Saturday. I can't be walking around with this stupid goatee on my face. It's half grown in, and if I shave and I got this giant freaking red boil.
Yeah.
It's not really a boil.
Well, get it fixed, Cappy.
And then everybody makes fun of me in social media. Why don't you people back off?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, I wish this was something Jacob could fix for you. I mean, he could fix a lot of things, including if you get into an accident. You know what I mean? You call Jacob at 844-24-JACOB. So, Cappy, I don't think he can help you with your boil. But, not all personal injury attorneys will treat you the same. One primary example, if you're in an accident, you hire an attorney. Some major law firms, they'll think your accident is too small and not worth their time. So they'll farm it out to a smaller, less experienced firm. Imagine this is you, man. You don't want that happening to you. You think you're hiring one person, but you end up getting another one? Like, come on. You want an experienced person on your side. That's why you want to call Jacob immediately after your accident at 844-24-JACOB. Every case with Jacob is equally as important. He won't hand off your case to someone else. And let's face it, who do you want dealing with the insurance company? Jacob or potentially some kid just out of law school? Get out of here. Of course you want Jacob. So call him at 844-24-JACOB. Don't take the risk. You're injured in an accident. Call Jacob. He'll get you the medical care you deserve and the compensation you deserve. A lot of attorneys say they'll fight for you. You call Jacob, he'll win for you. So call him at 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. 844-24-JACOB. Tell him Sedano and the folks at 710 sent you, and visit him online at calljacob.com. Great job, Funchy, DeAndre, The Circle, Christopher, and Cappy. Excellent work as always. Go fix your boil. We'll talk to you mañana. See ya.